And we're live. Welcome, Wafflers from across the nations and across Facebook and YouTube too. We're back, and it's great to have you all with us. This is the February Wafflers Assemble show, and what a treat we've got in store for everyone tonight. Before we begin, let's welcome my fellow Wafflers. Good evening, Ben.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Good evening, Becca.
Hello.
Good evening, Jill.
Hi, John.
Good evening, Peter.
Hello.
Good evening, Claire.
Good evening, John.
And good evening to Lloyd. You've been missed, mate, and welcome back.
Yay. Thank you very
So
much.
good to have you back, Lloyd.
I'd love to say it's you back from your world cruise and all that, but everyone would just know that I'm lying straight away. So, yeah, sometimes life and work gets in the way. So, yeah, it's great to have you back with us. And a good evening to our very own Samantha.
John,
now,
always a pleasure.
Tonight, I feel this feels like an Eamon Andrews moment, or this is your life.
It's a red book.
Yeah. For regular viewers, followers, and subscribers, you may recall that our Sammie set us all aghast at our last live show, and actually still continues to raise the same reaction with anyone we actually share a waffle with. So, indeed, as a welcome to the show, I've tried so hard to be kind. I'm still in shock from January. I can still hear people at home saying, "What's the problem?" I said, it's not a problem. It's a bombshell. Shall we just cast your mind back a little bit, Sammie?
No. My Disney confession is I have never been into any of the World Showcase pavilions.
What?
Yeah.
If Jason's watching, flipping heck, Sammie.
Ben, injector. Get rid of her.
Whoa.
No, don't.
What?
Uh-huh.
I'm stunned again. I absolutely
Still the same face.
It isn't it? It's like sort of shit on the deck. Oh,
How did she get in? How did we let her into this?
I don't know. I don't know how I got the position of Waffler.
We needed the universal knowledge.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I've got to say that rather than having to hang a head in shame until the route to the USA opens once more, we thought that what we'd do is what any good waffler would do. No, not disown, although that has been discussed at some point, I think, as well. We thought we would share a virtual tour of the grand and miraculous wonder that is World Showcase in Epcot. And now, rather than me leading the way, I think we need a very special tour guide to take Sammie around World Showcase, and who, despite being stuffed and a piece of plush, has actually got a trip report of his own of the World Showcase experience, and he's actually promised to avoid using trash cans to dine on as we tour, which I'm very much privy to. But hey, Forky is going to lead us around the world.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I thought this was a highbrow show when I left.
Look, it's going to get worse.
Did you, when I haven't been here, have you just had a square with Forky in, with Lloyd written in the corner?
Yeah. He had more personality as well.
Yeah. I'll remember that, Claire.
Oh, Claire.
Made the list, Claire. Forky. 2 on the list.
Yeah. Don't tempt us, we can change your name.
Oh, yeah. If you change my name, Ben, I'm changing it right back. I have editing rights as well, remember.
So, Sammie, are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
YouTube and Facebook, are you ready?
I don't think they are. They're not ready for this.
I think they are. I think they are.
Yeah, there's loads of people. Should we say hi?
Come on, let's see who's in the chat.
I've got to scroll back.
Yeah, there we go. So we got Mark. Hi, Mark.
Yes, we're very glad you've got the day off,
Mark.
Mark, as well. I know you're a bit cold, but it's great you're here.
Jojo.
Hi, Joe. Good evening, Maria.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Maria.
Hi, everyone.
Wow.
And Anna.
Anna,
Hi, Anna.
you're on time.
Well done. I'm proud of you.
She wouldn't miss it for the world this tonight. She's
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Hiya, Neil. Just wait, yeah. I'd agree with you there, mate. Yeah, the shouts of shame as she passes.
Hey, Val.
Are you all right?
Hi, Dan.
You're all right?
Hi, Dan.
Hi,
Yeah.
Dan.
Hi,
You're all
Josh.
right as well, Sammie.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, there you go. That's
Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
Oh.
Hey, Joel.
Say hi to everyone.
Hey,
Hi, Mom.
Joel.
Sharon.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Sammie, is your mum world champion?
Probably just about as much as I have.
oh,
So it's going to be a learning experience
It's-
tonight.
Yeah,
I
for
think
everyone.
that's the way to treat tonight. I think that's the way, and I've got to admit, I think hopefully we're going to learn something from all of this as well. So
I'm sure we will.
yeah,
Anna seems
Neil
to be like
Howard.
your ears.
Thank you, Anna.
Oh, I didn't.
Hi, Connor.
Claire's is falling off.
hey, there you go. You've got moral support from Connor as well. This time,
I've got some
you've got-
support. And Howard, Neil Howard.
Why can't we do
Sammie.
both, Neil?
Sammie, he's not started yet. Just wait till Neil. Wait till Neil really gets started.
This is just, we should rename this Flag Samantha show.
I don't think we do, because that's got a slightly different connotation.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm going to get a flag and
Right, come on.
That's not
Come
what
on.
you said.
Come on. Right. Get the autograph books, the cameras, the ability to eat and drink around the world. We're going in. And as we leave behind the building site that was once the Fountain of Nations, and we approach Showcase Plaza, we have a choice, which Ben very, very well trailed on Twitter earlier on. So thank you, Ben. Do you go?
There's only one way to go around Epcot, isn't there?
Depends where you want to go.
And it depends who you want.
Yeah, drunk is the only way to go on Epcot.
Well,
some
it sounds
that's the
wafflers
ending,
might
isn't it?
be a wee bit.
It's not how you
tipsy
finish
ones.
World Showcase drunk.
It is.
It's not how you start.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, usually in a mess. But hey, we'll
Let's
leave
face
everyone.
it. You either go left or you're wrong. It's,
Yeah,
you know.
That's my view exactly, Claire.
My only
Unless-
argument for that is if it's coming from the boardwalk and you come in that part for
That's
fast.
even better.
Or
That
it's
way.
9 a.m. in the morning and you want breakfast.
That's called a
You don't want it in
margarita.
Norway.
It,
Do you know the nice thing coming in from International Gateway, Ben? It's really nice because you can actually start with a pint of Guinness in the Rose and Crown. Settles the stomach a little bit. Just saying. It's a nice way to start.
what we do, which is weird, is if it's daytime, we'll go left, and if we're coming in for the evening, for extra magic hours in the evening, we go right. And I don't know why that is.
It's probably because
And I've never thought about it
Because
until
it's
now.
so dark and you've got lost. You've got sort of so far as lights
Yeah,
are out.
that's
Don't know
not
which
really
way
nice,
to
yeah.
go.
I don't know. Oh no, I've one of the theories.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, Robin. If you go right, you're sighting where you got Canada and France, and Emma likes a glass of champagne from France. So if
There
it's
you go,
evening, yeah,
Perfect.
that explains it. Yeah,
Well,
solved.
tell
Mystery
Emma.
solved.
Tell Emma the champagne might be a bit of time in the waiting, but we will get there. Don't worry. At some point tonight, and I've got to say, yeah, start the day with a drink. Maria's got the right idea. That's exactly it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's just an Epcot thing, isn't it? You wouldn't do it necessarily at home, but it's an
Is it, or do you leave your room with your resort mug with like a gin and tonic first thing in the morning, or an Irish coffee, or a mimosa? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go, Lloyd. Yeah. But hey ho.
The tagline of tonight's show, is it going to be this one?
I think so.
Could we get that trending? But hashtag
Maybe that's why I haven't done much of World Showcase. I'm
You
not a big
don't drink?
drinker. I'm not a big drinker.
Ah, that's it, Sammie. The show's over. That's it.
You don't.
Sammy doesn't drink, so there's a good excuse for not doing World Showcase.
No, there
Doesn't
isn't,
drink,
because
but
we
only
don't
chicken
drink
nuggets.
that much, and we've done
No.
bits of most of World Showcase.
Yeah, I don't drink and there's not enough nuggets. You're right.
It's the second one.
No excuse. We're turning left. We're going to Mexico.
Hola.
Hey, and Tony's home with us.
Hola,
Mexico.
¿cómo está? Bien, muy bien.
See, look at that. There you go.
Like, we're getting a
Right, there you go. Homer the 3 caballeros and loads more. Sammie, put your sombrero on, keep your hands inside the boat, and make sure you remember watching Coco. Although I'm sure that Handy Manny actually probably would have been a good IP for this pavilion back in the day. But come on, guys, tell us about Mexico.
It's always twilight.
Yeah.
It's always been.
It's always sorry.
Yeah, go Peter.
It's always twilight.
Because it's in
I like that movie.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
The setting inside is always twilight. It's always just before dark.
Yeah, I think you're right, Peter. The amazing thing about the inside of the Mexico Pavilion is the air conditioning. No, sorry, it's the it's the fact that you are outside but inside.
Yeah,
and I remember, you go in and it's like, wow, you really do feel like you're outside. The Imagineering to make it feel like you are in a marketplace in the middle of Mexico with the noise and the sounds and the lighting. And it's incredible because it's a really, really special place. And I know that a lot of people think that Mexico is like the best place in all of Walt Disney World. Apparently it smells nice. I've never noticed it, but for me, it smells like the beautiful food at the San Angel Inn, which is incredible. But some people think it smells of something else. I don't know.
I have a confession about Mexican Pavilion.
You've never been in there, Peter.
I've never tried a sombrero on.
Oh,
that was a good idea. Like, now,
who are you?
Yeah.
Everybody's around you trying sombreros on, and I just never have. I don't want to. Thank you.
Spreading lice around everybody. All those school-age kids spreading their lice into the sombreros and going international travel.
Never take the one from the top.
It wasn't until a few years back that I even realised there was more to the Mexico Pavilion than what you could see outside. I didn't realise you could go inside the pyramid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been looking for this 3 Caballeros ride for years and couldn't work out where it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never been in there. I've seen pictures and videos, but I've never been in.
Yeah, we know that. So that's why we're doing the show.
Yeah, I'm just reiterating that. Like, I haven't been in it.
It'd be really dull if you had been in these places.
I know, right?
We'd have a lot to talk about.
Well, I need to say something, don't I? I just sit here like, what?
No, I think that's the thing as well. No, Sammie, I think this is the good thing for you because actually, you're gonna end up being, for your family, you could be the tour guide that takes everyone around World Showcase the next time you go. Just on all the notes that you've made tonight.
You could be Forky. What an aspiration.
Yeah. I would be honored.
There is a lot of love coming in for the Mexico Pavilion with our friends.
Yeah.
Isn't it just?
Mexican food and chlorine.
Smells like Mexican. Lisa, you're not wrong.
I should do that in a candle.
I'm sure somebody has.
I have a question.
There we go. That's more like it, Sammie. That's how tonight's meant to develop.
That's the question.
Okay. Is there anything?
Don't ask if we sell chicken nuggets.
I wasn't going to. Is there anything else to the Mexico Pavilion except just what's in that pyramid?
Yes, there's nothing else in the pyramid apart from what's in the pyramid.
No, I just mean, like, is there anything around the back or like anything like that, or is it just the pyramid?
No.
There's a restaurant outside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, an opposite. Yeah.
What you'll find is that actually on the right-hand side of the pyramid, there's always a fantastic Donald Duck meet and greet.
Yeah.
And that goes throughout the day at different times. There's also, and I can never say the name, is the band that play there, the
Mariachi
band. They're most incredible people to listen to with, and if you've watched Coco, it's very much down the lines of playing the music that's sort of that Mexican style, sort of acoustic guitar, and it's beautiful. It really is, and again, it's something that you would walk past and you would miss if you weren't aware that it was there. And there's so many things that you'll find out tonight, Sammie, that you need to look at the show times and see when people are actually performing, and try to make sure that you get it in there, because otherwise you simply do miss it. But inside that pyramid, and I'll probably come back to it in umpteen times tonight, is when you had the old Agent P game.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Wasn't it just?
It was so good.
And the one before it, which
Kim Possible. Was it
Kim
Kim Possible?
Possible. Yeah. Now Kim Possible, on the backdrop of when you were inside and you had to go and take your little receiver bit. And Kim Possible, it actually set the volcano off at the very far end.
Right. Okay.
And the Agent P one wasn't quite as as intrusive, I think is the word, because I think if you were eating in the restaurant, there were people playing Kim Possible who were coming right up to the edge of the restaurant. And you go, hey, look. But it was fab, and you could just, I don't know, there was loads of little things in that. I think for Kim Possible in particular, there was like a bird in one of the shops that would sing to you. And also, Sammie, even though you're not a drinker, there's a really nice tequila bar in there.
My mum would like that.
Several people have mentioned the tequila bar.
Yeah,
there you go. You see,
they're mainly my friends and family. Unfortunately, I realise.
I was going to say, Clay, is that really surprising?
Oh,
yeah.
I want to quickly. Sorry, Joe, on you go.
I'm going to be the pedantic one and say it's not a pyramid. It's a
ziggurats.
No, thanks. I'm trying to give them up. Boom, boom.
Officially, a pyramid with the top sliced off is called the ziggurat.
So there you go.
Okay. Well, you can correct everyone round World Showcase now, Sammie.
Didn't the ziggurat have one of the infinity zones inside it?
But my favourite thing in the ziggurat is the ride, the Three Caballeros. Absolutely love it. It's got a song that will stick in your brain for days, and it's just such a fun little ride.
Yeah. It's got three cardboard cutouts of three birds.
Yep.
You know why we love a cardboard cutout on this show? I don't know, they back it actually. They 3D again yet?
No, that's still cardboard cutouts at the minute.
Still cardboard cutouts. Spot on. It's right on brand.
I was
going to say, Sammie, have you seen Coco?
No, I haven't seen Coco yet. It's on my list. I'm scared. You have to be in the mood to like watch a crying movie, and I just don't want to cry.
Move on, because this is going to.
You will cry.
I need to wait like for the opportune crying moment and then watch it.
Oh, we had half an hour on Mexico. Is that what everyone's saying?
So I just want to go back to what Maria was saying. Maria, yes, I have walked around the World Showcase. I just haven't been into any of the pavilions except the Norway pavilion to ride Maelstrom and Frozen Ever After. Yes.
Cool.
So they're all forcing me to like go into the
pavilion. Forcing you to have fun. How very dare we?
Yeah, the thing is though, if you walk around World Showcase, you basically miss all of the detail. You might as well just walk around with your fingers in your ear, and it's just like shut your eyes.
It's been on my list that I've just never taken the time to do it. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I've always been, I want to go do this ride or this show or stuff like that. But it is on the list, guys. Don't worry. And I don't think Jason's going to let me not do it. So
no, I think that's the other thing. I think Anna's hit the nail on the head there as well, hasn't she? Not seen Coco. Sammie, Coco is absolutely superb.
Wait, has Lloyd seen Coco?
Yes, and I loved it. I have seen it. Ask me any questions about it.
What's the dog's name?
Dante.
Okay, I'll let you with it. But he's not seen loads of stuff, so I'm not getting flagged.
Bird, you got me there. Bird, Lloyd.
He's not seen the Hunchback, right?
I tell you the other thing as well, and this is probably worth sharing with everyone who wants to find out about Mexico. Is the actual the cantina on the outside, which overlooks
Showcase Lagoon.
which was the illuminations bit. You'd actually get a really nice spot if you got in there early. You get a cracking view of illuminations from the outdoor seating area, and
The
also
food's pretty good as well.
It is. I tend to go for the nachos, and it tends to be a bit.
The tacos de barbacoa are on point. They're really good.
Bit more spice needed, if I'm being honest. But I'm sure that Neil sat at home in North Wales, and he's I deliberately avoided the photograph that he sent me of me and my wife stood outside there using the bin as a very nice sort of way of sharing our anniversary meal one night in Epcot. And yeah, but I lost that. It didn't make the cut onto the thousands of photos that we've ended up sort of dragging into this show. But
Dan's got a good point there, Sammie. You don't have to do all the pavilion all in one go.
Yeah.
Even if you just do a couple a day.
I know, but the thing is, I don't want to, I don't really want to make myself seem much more controversial than I already am. But
you want to go to Epcot every day?
Yeah, I only go to Epcot like once, maximum twice.
And do a couple of pavilions each trip.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll
by
get
2030, you'll have.
How'd you throw someone out again, Ben?
Yeah. Three little dots and it says remove.
Dear me. Oh dear.
Canforth Parish Council, we will get rid of you, Sammie. Put you in the waiting room.
Authority here.
Yeah. Read them and understand them.
Is it how we have a vote at the end of the night? Sort of which one of us goes? Or Sammie learned enough from World Showcase.
Are we going to quiz her at the end?
Oh God, please no.
Oh, did we not tell you there's a test?
No one said there was a test.
Pop quiz.
It makes sense though that Epcot doesn't have such a massive space in your heart. 'Cause you're only going to go there once, maybe twice. I get it that you've not done it because it doesn't really tick your boxes, does it?
Yeah.
So we've got how many more countries to try and talk you around now?
Yeah.
More.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more.
10.
10.
Is it 10 more? What have I missed?
Yeah. UK probably.
Don't worry.
Do you know what? I've missed off the UK.
That's probably a good idea at the minute.
And Canada.
Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
poor Foggy's getting impatient. He's got a feeling of a maelstrom growing in the lagoon.
Is that euphemism?
No, you never know, Royce. You never know. I knew when I wrote that you'd pick up.
It's very poetic.
Yeah, I thought so too. We move on to Spirit of Norway. Norway past is worthy of a mention before we talk about all things Frozen. But speaking of Maelstrom, our Wednesday waffle next week is about extinct attractions in Epcot. See what I'm doing here? See, it's plugging next Wednesday night waffle is a really cracking show.
Seamless segue, John.
And Maelstrom will most definitely feature, I promise you. And I won't keep whittering on about Maelstrom anymore this evening. Welcome to Norway.
You're going to leave that for Wednesday.
I've had a thought. If we keep going, it depends how long it takes us tonight. We might be at Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we'll go
straight on Monday.
Straight into Wafflers Wednesday. We'll be Maelstrom brightly.
I really hate to tell work that I can't come in because I'm live on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So
yeah,
Norway.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to start with the question to everybody. Do you prefer Norway Old or Norway with the film overlay? Because I think we've talked about this before, and I think we've got sort of differing sort of opinions about it.
I've got to say, John,
and the updated approach, or
it's Frozen Ever After. It is not set in Norway, so it's almost disrespectful to Norway to put in a ride which is not based in Norway just because it has cultural similarities, and Disney have kind of set it in a fantasy world that's sort of Scandinavia, sort of Norway. It's I don't know. It's not quite right. It doesn't sit well with me.
It's the same as Aladdin being in Morocco, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I can see that.
That's only a meet and greet, isn't it?
I think the whole pavilion initially, when it was built, was Scandinavian. It wasn't actually specifically Norwegian, but became Norway, which is why, weirdly, you've got some Swedish stuff in the shop. but we won't talk about that. I think there's Danish stuff and Finnish stuff in there as well. So
yeah, and I think that, Claire, that's a really good point, that as well, because I think the restaurant in there, which I
love it.
I love it too. I think it's the most amazing place, and I know you've got a young daughter, and I think because of all,
do you know what? It's such a good deal. So if you were on the dining plan, for example, if the dining plan ever comes back, it's one table service credit, and the prince. If you're into princesses, you know, everyone's into princesses somehow. It's a really, really good way of doing lots of princess meet and greets in one meal. The times we've done it on like the second day of our trip, and we've gone for lunch, bang, all the princesses done by the end of day 2. We don't need to wait in any queues for the rest of the holiday. That's how we do it. It's like spin it straight up. It's strategic. That's all it is.
A pricey meal, or is it? Do you think it's worth the money?
If it's a choice of that or going to Cinderella's Royal Table, I would pay for akashus every time, because I think
I'd agree with it.
The food, it is a buffet starter, and it's like a smorgasbord. So it's got, you know, for some people it may not be within their food preferences. It's there's fish, there's salad things, there's I'm trying to think, cheese and meat. And then you get a choice. They
describe it as family service as well, though, don't they? Is it just all arrives for a starter, and it's nice. If you like it, you eat the whole lot. If you don't like it, people pick. And
the main courses are great. There's a choice, a good spread of main courses. And the thing for me, I always look at in menus is whether the kids' meal is like beige food or whether there's actual nutritional content to the kids' meal. And they do a really great, I think they do like a chicken breast with mashed potatoes and green beans, which for me, if my child's going to eat something in a restaurant, it's going to be that rather than chips and nuggets. Sorry, Sam. Because that's what Millie would choose. So I think the food is really, really good. The dessert comes as a platter to share, and the princesses come to your table. So you don't even have to go and queue up. I think if you're paying out of pocket and you want to do princess meet and greet, I would do akashus every time.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with you, Claire.
It's been on our list for a little while. Quite around it.
The food isn't for everyone, so if it's not your kind of food, then I wouldn't waste my money. But
we'd probably go for breakfast. But I think looking at the menus, we preferred the breakfast menu.
Yeah.
So is it a better event than Cinderella's Royal Table?
I think for me, the price point of Cinderella's Royal Table means that it's beyond reasonable.
Right, okay.
And I would also add, having been there with 2 lads and having, you know, that experience of them coming in without any want to do the princess meet and greet.
They change their mind quite quickly.
Oh yeah, too right. but the character interaction though was so good. And they're probably used to sort of families coming in with families with lads and stuff like that. And they did this whole thing around the restaurant and stuff.
Yeah.
It was great. And you know, and that's to me that the restaurant experience was absolutely top notch. And what was really interesting is because the cast members were all from different Scandinavian countries within the restaurant, and the servers rather were all from different Scandinavian countries. They didn't give us stuff. If you were on the dining plan, they didn't bother. They weren't doing it. They weren't doing it for tips and nothing. They were doing it because actually they wanted you to enjoy their particular country, which I thought was really something to behold.
I think that goes across the board when you're in World Showcase, though. If you actually take, and this is a general rule for all countries, Sammie. So if you take the time to have a conversation when the international cultural programs back going, and it's not locals working in all the pavilions, when it is the international cast that are there, if you take the time just to have a conversation with someone, you have the very different experience within that country. And certainly we've had lots of interesting conversations with people in their own home country. They're so proud. They say, we want to chat to them and they want to chat to us. So I think it's if you take the time to have that conversation and you're confident to do so, it can make or break a really good day. other bits in Norway, and I've seen that somebody mentioned it. Lisa Milam mentioned the school bread. Oh, and let's just have a moment of homage to the Kringler Bakery over the road from the.
Definitely.
You know, I'm going to make a confession. I've never had school bread.
Well, if you don't like coconut,
that's why I've never had it.
I wouldn't. I was gonna say I think coconut's not on your list of things that you like, is it? But you might enjoy the Lefse. The Lefse's really good, and so is the Kringler, which is like the sweet pretzel, and it's got like an icing and almonds. Oh, that's really good too. In fact, there's a lot in there that's good.
You might have to pop in there.
But
I think as well, Claire. I think the Kringler Bakery as well, just for a sort of breakfast snack. You know, they do some amazing pastries, and it's a great place. You know, and often overlooked as an option. Certainly for us, we end up for breakfast. I think Lloyd's already sort of mentioned about going to France for an early morning sort of bite to eat. But if you are going in this direction, and you are there, and it's there we go.
John.
Oh, okay.
Your shirt.
Hang on. Famous shirt.
Make the Eiffel Tower straight again.
Make the Eiffel Tower straight again.
It's going to be a dude, where's my car moment then. What does Mike say?
Oh, dear. But
What about the other things that have been added to Norway? Because I think that I've got it down in my notes that the summer house where you can do the Anna and Elsa meet and greet, I think is incredible. So we've done it a number of times. The detail and the attention to the story of Frozen within that building, just in terms of the different rooms that you go through while you're waiting in the queue, is incredible. And I would say that even if you're not a big Anna and Elsa meet and greet fan, you're not got any interest in saying hello to them, just go through the queue because it's brilliant.
Does the staff church still have the background story to Frozen?
No, it's gone back to a traditional. Well, it had last time I was there, but that that's like 100 years ago now because we're stuck here. But no, last time I went, it was back to Thor and Norwegian mythology.
So there's a little temple to the Norse gods.
Yeah, little temple to Chris Hemsworth.
I'm supposed
Oh no, that's just
in
my mind.
Oh, there you go, you silly. There you go. You've got to get it in there. I've got to admit, I think the actual ride itself, I know that it's got that whole thing about sort of the songs from the film. I still prefer the old one, if I'm being honest. But that's just me being old and stuff like that. But you know, it actually was more dark, and it was really in some points sort of quite sort of disturbing that you'd have an oil rig in the middle of a ride. And I just thought, you know, that's one of them. You go to Epcot to learn.
Yeah, oil rig educational tick, wasn't it? That's what it is. Learning about the culture.
Yeah.
I miss Maelstrom, 100%.
All those people that thought that that's all there is in Norway. Oil rigs.
Oil rigs, yeah.
Oil rigs and snow.
Maybe a polar bear and trolls that look like tree stumps.
Yeah.
That rise out of the ground.
Yeah.
How did Frozen compare to Maelstrom? Just because we weren't lucky enough to do Maelstrom.
The ride system is completely the same.
It's exactly the same without the pizzazz of the songs.
Yeah, it's like nothing changed with the ride system or anything. It was just all like re-themed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to find an older point of view ride from Maelstrom somewhere.
I did have a wobbly moment on Maelstrom because I knew that it didn't go over the fall, but I didn't know it was going to go backwards rather suddenly.
Yeah.
It's not a drop, it's more of a slide, but it still took me rather by surprise, I have to say.
I think what was nice was you went to that, like it was as if it was like an overhang
Yeah.
Out front,
I
out of
knew
the
it
front,
wasn't going to go
front
over
of
the
the ride, and it was just like as you enter that, and then there's the track switch before the drop, and it was that bit. Oh, it's daylight. We're going outside and stuff, and what I think that's possibly the bit I don't like the most, because it was really nice just to get a little snippet of daylight halfway through it. You know, like Terra.
Yeah, exactly.
Daylight.
I'll tell you another thing. And this is again about the ride as well. It's the most difficult ride to get a decent photo on your photo pass, because as you go from that track switch, and then you're on the downhill one, but they could do with about 2 or 3 different cameras, because if you're at the back of the boat, everyone who's gone hands up, you're just like
that's the same with every ride photo.
Oh no, it's not. There's that one, and it's Pirates in Magic Kingdom. The 2 boat rides where I really think they could, if they plussed up the ride photo, it would be a massive help. It really would.
Right.
Terry's mentioned the movie at the end of Maelstrom.
Yeah.
What
Is
movie?
that everything that's in Norway then?
I remember there were like rows of chairs that I'd run past.
Yeah.
Head down and keep going. No one will stop.
Yeah.
Especially if it's during the World. What was the light show? It escapes me for a second.
Illuminations.
During Illuminations, you just go round and round and round and round on Maelstrom.
Yeah.
We did it during evening EMH, so by the time we got out, the film was actually closed. Oh dear, what a shame.
And if you're really lucky at the shop, you'll get stopped by the bloke who sells the aftershave. He's there like every 3rd Tuesday, I think. You can wince at the price of the Helly Hansen jackets. We do that every time, because I would go and look at them. Oh, they're really nice, and then you go,
how much?
Yeah.
They're reduced on a certain shop we look at the moment.
Oh, they don't tell me that.
All the Helly Hansen ones are about $45, $50 if you want one.
Oh,
I won't tease you anymore, but yeah,
Dan's in the chat. Don't say anything. Shh.
All right.
You get in a new jacket, Dan.
Yeah, lightsaber.
It's me.
There you go. That's a picture.
You think you're not buying too?
Yeah, just that gaping black sort of bit of plywood that they've just painted.
MDF
was where the boat basically sat, and you came backed into there. And it was good. It was.
The other side of that is Elsa.
It's just no. Do you know the chat's absolutely brilliant on this? I'll go with Doreen as well. That's
right. Oh, Terry Gear Ness is his name, not to be confused with Locke, his brother. That's it. Yeah, Gear Ness.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. As Thor would probably have said back in the Norse mythology, rather than the Marvel version, I hasten to add, you keep coming back to this Marvel stuff. Yeah. And this is a real nod to those watching in North Wales as well. It's like, we are moving on.
No, it's not good.
Right? Because that's the famous saying. And
wasn't that M people who said that?
I have no idea.
No, moving on up.
They moved on up. We're moving on left.
Moving on over.
Yeah, and we're going to confuse Forgy in a geographical sense, because from Norway we're going to China, right? And it's rather fitting. Yeah, it's kind of
quite a long plane ride, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. But hey ho, we'll live with that. But there's an absolutely amazing thing here, Sammie, and I think it fits tonight just so well. Because if you go into the actual pavilion before you go into the film, which I'm no doubt we'll talk about, but there's a plaque on the wall, and it just says, "Hearing something 100 times is not as good as seeing it once." And you know something? It's just, I think it just applies, especially to you, and it's something that's always resonated with me. That just, so it's not an Epcot created sort of proverb. It is a Chinese one that I did do my own work and check. just in case, because you never know with some of these Imagineers, do you?
Didn't come out of a fortune cookie.
No, it didn't. But
Johnny, you think we need to get Sammie like it on a key ring?
That's such a good idea.
Isn't it just? There we go.
But what I like is that's a really long phrase.
Up on the wall.
Maybe,
in Chinese
maybe Sammie. We could take it to another level now, couldn't we?
Right.
When you go to the China Pavilion, right, you get someone to tattoo that on you.
Where?
I wasn't going there. I was not saying anything about
somewhere you can see it.
Sammie gets a tattoo with that in Chinese. There we go. Sorted.
Challenge.
Permanent memento of World Showcase.
Does anyone else need to go get a beer?
We'll let everyone in the comments can vote for where I need to get the tattoo.
I wouldn't even go there, Sammie. We'll get closed down.
Bear with. I'm just going to log in.
Oh, dude, you're gonna get that. I'm not even going there. But what I will say is, I think the China Pavilion is just a thing of absolute beauty. And when you walk inside, it's a joy. And thankfully, I think they've redone the film and relaid the carpet in the film area, because the last time we went there, and we made a point of going there because I knew they were going to change the film. But the carpet was rancid. It was one of them places you held your nose for a bit and just thought, yeah.
It was a bit like a dodgy club on a Saturday night, wasn't it? It was a bit sticky in places.
Yeah,
and
and that's a Florida air conditioning thing within the confines, but amazing place. So there's, I think from one of our first visits there was like an exhibition of a terracotta army, and there was, you really did get a true flavour for the country, and in a really good way as well.
I never saw that bit, John, because now in the back of behind Temple of Heaven, when you've gone through the 360 cinema bit and you come out the other side, there's now a thing called House of Whispering Willows, which is it's a sneak peek of Shanghai Disney. And it's got all the stuff with it's got the castle, and it's got things about Tron, and it's really cool actually. You can spend some time in there and mooch about and seeing whether Shanghai takes your fancy.
Yeah, and there's loads there. The shopping opportunities right in the very back of the whole of China.
Yeah, they're great.
I love the shop in China. I could have bought the whole shop.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's reasonable as well. If you Emma was looking at the geisha style dresses, and even the more sort of Western looking but Chinese style dresses. Yeah, and they were $40. They weren't extortion. They weren't Disney prices. They were more reasonable prices. It was really good in there.
I used to own a couple of the top style of those way back.
Bye, Doreen.
Bye, Doreen. Ciao. See you soon.
If you buy something in the China Pavilion, there's normally someone who will write your name in Chinese characters on what you buy.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Peter? You've just reminded me of something we haven't mentioned, though. And that is the Kidcot stops.
Yes.
So, Sammie, this may take your fancy a little more than
well, if it's for kids, I'm probably down. Yeah.
So they used to do like a stick where you put flags on, then they did Duffy.
It was like a passport thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Then they did Duffy on a stick, and you go around and you colour Duffy in and have bits stuff put onto the stick that he was on. And now you get a little very not very eco-friendly plastic Ziploc bag where you go and you get little cards from each country, which has got colouring bits, and there's usually an activity to do in each country, and then you can they do you a sticker because there's a little passport book, and then they will write your name in their language, which is really cool. And it's completely free.
Yeah,
Disney don't do free things. This is free, and it keeps your kids occupied for ages. So I remember Millie sitting colouring stuff in Mexico while Nikki and I went and got a margarita. We didn't leave her there on our own, just saying. There was a responsible adult with her. But the Kidcot stops are great.
if Disney are listening, please don't make it as a paid for option. Please keep it free.
It's so good, and honestly, I think the opportunity for kids to learn a little bit more about the country, and they get the opportunity to interact with the cast member.
Yeah,
is fantastic. So yeah, I agree, Valerie. They were better before. They're still great. In my opinion, I think they're a really, really nice thing to have. It'd be so easy to get rid of them, and I hope that doesn't happen.
and I think a lot of that comes back to the international program as well, doesn't it? And I think for a lot of younger kids, as they actually went into some of these spots, they were actually able to talk to cast members actually about their own country, and they were really, really good. They were absolutely superb with the children that they were dealing with. And then the new one is actually sponsored by Ziploc. So, we'll get a mention in there if they want to send us some freebies. Then we'd gladly accept that. And whilst we're at it, the amount of Sharpies that you get in each of them spots, which incredibly were just in a basket, and it was just you could colour in the Sharpies. So your kids would have different coloured fingers by the end of the day, depending on what they were colouring in.
That is absolutely the case.
Yeah, it was just like, it was fantastic. And then they go and have a dip in the pool later on, and they still had Sharpie on them.
That's what Sharpie did.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Peter.
Sammy, there's your tattoo. There you go.
Yeah.
Go down to the stop stores, get it all tattooed on right away up your arm in Sharpie. It's there forever.
Sammie, I think one thing you might like to do in the China Pavilion is maybe meet Mulan.
Yes. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do like to meet the characters.
It's a shame there's no Moosh meet and greet, because that would be fun.
Hi, Sharon.
Sharon, thanks for watching. We'll go steady with her. We're not roasting her. We're just educating her. That's all I see it as.
Has anyone eaten in the restaurants in China? I haven't.
No.
I've had something from the booth at Food and Wine, but we've never been into Nine Dragons or.
Nine Dragons has a mixed reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we haven't been in there, because Chinese food is.
The quick service is the lotus blossom, isn't it?
We've used the quick service a couple of times, and the boys love it.
Okay.
They're big on. Josh loves his sweet and sour chicken. It's just it basically does what it's. You go in there, you know what you're getting.
Is it any better than Panda Express, or is it on a par?
It's on a par, I would say, Claire. Okay. Nothing, it's nothing fancy. But the thing is, though, when you look at the restaurant sells more or less the same thing. And so when you're planning on sort of going out for a meal, it's possibly a place that's sort of towards the bottom of the list as to where you would actually go. It's a weird one, because like you just sort of you utilize the counter, but you actually, I don't think you go for a sit down meal.
I think there's so much.
We've been for a sit down meal. But it was a long time ago. Now this will date when it was that my dad booked on the same day, and I think we booked it in Communicore. Communicore, is that right?
Yeah, Communicore.
I remember my dad. It was like watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. My dad was talking to someone on a screen and booking a restaurant. It was the most novel thing I'd ever seen. It was probably 10 or 11. It was amazing.
That sounds about right, because we did the same, but we weren't as lucky. We got the restaurant in Morocco.
Yeah, like what you doing on Wednesday night, mate? we've got an extinct Epcot attraction show on Wednesday. If you're not working, come and join us. That type of thing.
Is it still once a month? You get me now. That was the deal.
Is that in the new contract?
Yeah,
we can't afford
it. Not your contracts yet.
I have to start paying him.
You want to see my new car? You want to see my new car? Thanks, Ben.
Contracts can be rewritten. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Terry, that's a really useful tip about the bathroom there. I think we need to have you as a consultant on a future show about bathrooms, because we've done.
I didn't even know there was a bathroom there.
Yeah.
And Claire's the bathroom expert.
I am. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry, the world will know now. It's no longer a secret.
Yeah, it's like the one at the
Massive
back of
queues.
Tomorrowland Terrace.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I think Forky needs us to move on. And there's something actually happening outside that actually has to be seen to be believed, because World Showcase is being raised and we actually can't walk any further. And it's a moment not for the impatient, but actually a moment that I certainly used to plan my day around. And it was just one of them things. And I think Sammie, when you see it for the first time, you turn around and go, oh, like, what's happening? It's just like, and then if you need to be the other side of the bridge. So again, just check where you are, because when you're on the other side of the bridge, you get to see things like this.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
And it's just amazing, and like barges just packed full of fireworks like that.
That was in the days before they just left them in situ all day.
I hate to burst anyone's bubble, but we're not going to see that anymore.
Yeah, but it's still good though, Sammie. It's just like one of them ones. It's just like amazing. It really is. And I'm with Terry there. Yeah, standing beside the bridge as my globe exited the lagoon. I love that description. Yeah, I've got to say, it's one of them ones that actually, when you've seen it, you go back to World Showcase again and again and again, just to see the bridge raised and for the barges to come through and stuff. And I'm sure when Harmonious starts, there will be a similar sort of build up towards what's going to happen at the night time. It really does. But do
you think the great big tacos are going to go in and out, or are they going to stay?
I hope they disappear, Claire. They're just like a blot on the landscape.
They're a bit of an eyesore, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to be disguised by a fountain, sort of water sort of effect as part of it. So you're not actually going to physically see it during the day. Only when that gets turned off, and then they get lit for the show.
Right.
Don't try taking photos from the other side of the other side. It's like you're gonna just like I'm not going there. That's maybe for a show in 2 years' time, isn't it? Like,
Thanks, Lisa.
Hey, cheers, Lisa.
Oh, they are
tacos. That's a great way of describing Terry. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know? Yeah, that's love that, and that's why we do this show. It's that shared passion of a place that we all love, and it really is. It's just amazing, and that's what I mean, Sammie. It's things like this bridge raising up, and then as the bridge lowers, you enter this sort of bit that's known as the outpost, and home to food and wine booths galore, but an area actually, once upon a time, actually could have been an African themed pavilion of its own.
Yeah. Which is a nod to Africa, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was thinking as we were sort of trying to pull the show together, in my mind, I was thinking, do you know something? It'd be a really good Wednesday night show when we're actually just chewing the fat about sort of just one specific subject. It'd be, what country would we actually like to see in Epcot? And I'm sure this little place, this place really does. It's the one that keeps coming up when people start talking about Brazil, and it keeps talking about Spain, or it keeps talking about, again, making it a proper African experience. But I think it would make a really interesting waffle. I really do.
Yeah.
Pop it on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list, don't you worry.
I think the list goes up to Christmas at the minute, so
lots to talk about.
But hey, Forky is going to lead you on, Sammie. It's not me, it's Forky's fault.
It's Forky's doing it all
Forky's
for me.
Fault. Our Joe blames Forky for everything.
Yeah.
But there he is. Look at that. But hey, we're going to Germany, and home of the Great Railway Disaster of 2016. Which is fabulous. I think the other bit, that's the one, Ben.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Thomas or Gordon?
Gordon, I think. Thomas is blue.
The green engine. That's it.
I think Henry's green as well.
Yeah, and it's just like
I can check for you. Do you want me to check? So like literally about 2 minutes.
Lloyd's got exactly the same train set that my kids used to have. It's great.
Bye.
Hey, cheers, Terry.
Let's know what it's like.
We won't tell anyone.
Here
yet
it comes.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's about recursive.
Right, where are the names on them?
No,
you
you've
just
got
have
to
to
know
know.
them, Lloyd. It doesn't
Number
tell you.
6.
Come on.
It's
Number
not
six.
That's Percy.
Face.
You've got to see the face.
Need to see the faces.
I've set off a talking toy now over there. Somebody's going, hand! Colour blue.
See, this is what happens,
on.
Lloyd, when you do the
Here we go.
you do a live
Come
in
on,
your
let's
kids' toy
show
room.
you what's in Germany. Come on, I'll start off. I'm going to go get myself.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, I'm going to get one of them grapefruit beers that it's in the Germany pavilion. And do you know
The one with the massively long name that nobody can say.
I don't know, it's grapefruit beer, but actually, if you try and buy one in a can in any of the resort fridges in the dining bit, it's as weak as anything. It's only about 2% or something, but it's a must-have by the time you've got this far round World Showcase.
Is that the one that they sell in Tesco?
I've no idea.
I've no idea.
Having a
Don't they do massive pretzels as well that go with the beer?
Yeah.
Beer and a pretzel? That's
Sounds pretty good to me.
That's
And
pretty
then you've
good,
got-
yeah.
So in Germany, what have you got? I'm never quite sure what the experience is in Germany. That's the only bit. We go into the caramel kucha shop and we smell the popcorn. We probably buy some caramel or something. And then we walk through the shops and talk about the pickle. And then we go around the back and try on the comedy aprons in the beer keller at the back. Have a drink. And then we tend to leave because the rain stopped. And I've never really spent a lot of time in the German pavilion. I've never been to the beer garden.
The Christmas shop.
It
there is
sounded
quite-
like I can skip Germany.
No. Do you like caramel?
No.
Do you like Word originals?
Werther's original.
No.
Oh well.
Do you like
Coffee
Lederhosen?
I can skip it.
Lederhosen and Umpan.
Really?
Well, if there's some Lederhosen men kicking about,
No, you see,
might have
Sammie,
to-
the problem was, and this goes back probably about three or 4 years, right? An internationally renowned yodeler was trailed, and you know when you're thinking, do you know something? What a great idea! Let's put a bit of time in, and we'll go and see what this is all about. Right? So she turns up with a band, and they all looked as if they'd started the world tour about 1967, and it was, you know, when you're just thinking, no, this is, you know, if you would, to be honest, yeah, I don't think we have that many German listeners, so it's okay. I can probably get away with this. But if I was German, I was watching that, I'd probably be insulted, if I was being honest. And she was shocking. She was really, really poor. And again, it's just driving you towards a drink. That was it.
Maybe that was the point.
And I think, you know, again, you sort of look at, there's a huge amount of space at the back of the pavilion where the restaurant is. There was meant to be an actual ride that went into the pavilion. And it goes on, you know, really beyond even that spire that you can see. And they just never bothered building it. And I think it was probably a money thing way back in 82. But if you found a picture of the yodeler Ben, you might begin to see, you know, Dolly Parton, she isn't.
There is a Snow White meet and greet in Germany, however.
Yeah, and that's well worth doing.
That's
as well.
worth doing.
Yeah.
And am I
It's
right
kind
in
of-
thinking the facades of the buildings or the buildings are all different parts of Germany in terms of their style? There's a Bavarian bit. There's a They've all got different elements of Germany. So when you look around the square in the middle, the plaza in the middle where you can sit, when you do sort of a 360 round, they all look different, and that's because they're from different parts of Germany.
Yeah,
I think I read somewhere.
And as well, it used to be again another fabulous Agent P.
Yeah.
Experience, and it was one of them. Was Agent P just appeared in one of the windows, and it was such a hidden one. And if you were playing the game, people thought you were daft. You were stood there and you're pointing, And by the time they'd actually clocked onto the fact that this is what you were doing, they turned around and then the window would shut again, and they're actually looking at you thinking, "What were you doing?"
This sounds like your lads got bored of Agent P going around Epcot, John, and you've just done it all for them.
Oh, do you know something, Lloyd? Yeah, no, exactly, Claire. Agent P was just, and this is possibly, Sammie, which it would have been a fantastic way to actually take you around World Showcase, because it was so engaging in a really sort of subtle way that it took you into the parts of each of the pavilions that possibly many people don't even think about going, and it pushed you further and further in. It was very, very clever, and I think I hope it returns. I know they sort of mentioned about DuckTales and it becoming sort of their new way of doing it, and it probably all might be on mobile phone.
But also, what are those things you can get when the festivals are on, where you can go around each pavilion and like
treasure hunts?
Yeah, but for like Figment,
scavenger
hunts.
hunts.
Yeah, that's a good thing to sort of get you into a pavilion without literally just going in it to see the pavilion. It's way exploring, seeing what's
unlike the interactive ones up the road, they are free.
Oh, they were free, yes.
No, so the free. You can do them for free. We've done the Remy one in Food and Wine a couple of times, and you pay for the map at the beginning, but you get a prize at the end when you So they're reusable cups or something, I think we've had, and they're really good fun actually. The kids enjoy doing it, and we all enjoy doing it, and it's quite hard, some of them, but I think they are good about engaging into the pavilion.
Isn't it?
And actually, I'm going to go and add Phineas and Ferb to the Wednesday show conversations.
Definitely.
Isn't the clock in Germany special?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it's got figures or has a figure that goes round, or used to.
I've never noticed. I say it's not a pavilion we've spent a lot of time in.
Think that might have been an Agent P.
That might have been an Agent P,
thing as well.
The only thing I can think about, or that I can remember, was we went to was it Food and Wine or Festival of the Arts? There's a potato gratin that they do every year. I'd highly recommend going to get it. It's lovely.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
I think it was Festival of the Arts.
I think it might have been. Yeah.
At one of the
Which one has the ravioli?
Oh, that was Food and Wine.
Right, so it was Food and Wine then, because we had the ravioli on the same day.
There's always a very, very big queue for beer in Germany.
Yeah,
it tends to extend from sort of like that beer stand outside the shop all the way across the square in the middle. So it must be good.
Yeah. Has anyone tried Biergarten?
No.
It's one that we've seen a few vlogs and videos of recently, and it looks good. The entertainment looks good, but especially with it being, it used to be buffet style, now it's family style.
It was the communal seating that always put me off.
That's the part of it, because that's the draw into Germany. So it's the beer hall, it's the communal drinking and eating, which worldwide you can't do anymore anyway, But it's really not apt at this point. But yeah, that's the sort of German, Czech, Bavarian, Austrian, all these sort of Central European countries. That's how you sort of eat and drink socially. So that's the whole. There's no ride there. It's kind of that's the sort of experience, isn't it? Really, I'd say.
Yeah.
And it's right up my street, and I've never done it. I'd love to do it, but it's never been the right time. It's either the wrong time of day, or we just haven't been in a position to do it.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, and I think this is, again, if you're possibly not for you, Sammie, but the next time you're in Epcot, as you actually approach the German pavilion, on the left-hand side, there is so much space, and it's just like it's wasted space. And I know sort of you get that sort of perspective as you're walking into it, but there is an opportunity there to do so much more with this area, and I'd like to think that sort of at some point before I sort of leave this mortal coil, that they'll actually extend the place. And I think there's uncharted waters on that left hand side just before you arrive in Germany, and And even in the back of the pavilion itself, I would say that too.
I wonder what sort of ride they could put in to Germany.
That'd be great for like you remember the original Snow White ride.
Yeah,
scary one.
Scary one in the back. If they'd taken that and just planked it into the back of the Epcot pavilion, it would have been perfect.
They've recycled some of that, though, haven't they, for Mine Train? They've taken the dwarfs on each other's shoulders and Snow White and stuck it in the Mine Train.
Rapunzel is also set in Germany.
I was just going to say, as long as they don't put the Pinocchio ride from Disneyland Paris in there, I'm fine.
That would go into the pavilion we're going to next.
Yes. You could have a Rapunzel ride.
Come on, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. And as we bid off Wiedersehen, Pat, couldn't resist. Yeah, couldn't resist. And Foggy takes us as far away from that flipping yodeler as possible. We meet the Venetians. No, not the Phoenicians from Spaceship Earth. See what I did there? Venice is a welcome. I'm sure you've always wanted to go to Venice, Sammie.
Not interested.
No, you need to.
Not even when Tom Holland was there.
If Tom Holland was there, I'd be there. But no.
I'm going to fetch a Peroni, right? And Claire, take Italy away because I know this is a place you love.
Yeah,
Italian beer.
Yes.
There you go.
Grazie.
So, the Italian pavilion is incredible, and the way they've recreated St Mark's Square back to front. Just noting that actually the Doge's Palace is on the wrong side, but that was to create symmetry with the Japan pavilion on either side of the US small Capitol building. The bit of the Italian pavilion that people miss is the bit on the water side. So everyone goes in, they see the the shop, and then they go back towards the fountain, which is like a fake Trevi fountain, but not really. They might get stopped by, they used to get stopped by Sergio, the man with the whistle. He's not there anymore because they're all gone. But the bit waterside where you've got the little bridges up and down and the poles sticking out of the water and a couple of gondola parked up is fantastic. And actually those little bridges are all over Venice. The only thing that's really missing is a gondolieri trying to fleece you for far too much money to sit on one of his boats. That's a family pastime where we enjoy watching tourists get absolutely fleeced for cash just to go for a little ride. But it is beautiful over there, and you do get a cracking view of Spaceship Earth, and I expect when the time comes you will get a good view of Harmonious too.
There used to be a really great photopass photographer there. It's a really great photo spot.
We've seen a proposal happening there.
Oh, you can get married there. Not that I've looked, obviously, but
you can. Yes, you can marry all over in Disneyland.
You know that on Disney Plus they have the Disney Weddings show, which is amazing.
I love it.
You start going down rabbit holes of looking what's going on, and you can get married over in the Italy Pavilion, just over that area, and it's beautiful. But if you go the other way and go deeper into the pavilion, Sammie, do you eat pizza?
I do not.
Pasta?
Do you eat pasta?
What? Apart from chicken nuggets, what do you eat?
What do you eat?
Chicken and potato-based products.
You did say once that you like steak.
Gnocchi.
Yeah, gnocchi.
Yeah.
Do you eat
Gnocchi's
gnocchi?
potato.
I bet you don't like the texture of gnocchi. do you?
I don't. I've never tried. I don't know what it is.
You're missing out.
It's-
There you go. Go to Italy.
Try it. It's
So
potato.
there are 3 options in the Italy Pavilion for like a sit down and something to eat and drink. Via Napoli is a real favourite, I think, for most
Via
people,
Napoli.
and it is really traditional in terms of the fact it's loud and busy. And if you're going for a pizza in Italy, particularly, it's going to be loud and busy. That's how it is. And so it does feel like a family restaurant, and I love it in there. But
The pizzas are huge as
they
well.
are. I was just going to say the pizzas are enormous, but they're really good.
Massive.
They're really good. And
I've never actually had the pizza.
I think there's a bit of a.
pasta.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
There's
Ben
somebody
has the
who-
pizza. I have the pasta.
There's somebody else who
Jason,
says the lasagna's really
lasagna
good.
is apparently better than you go there, which place that's got 3 pizza ovens, sort of pizza fire, and it's like you don't go for pizza. It always confused me.
No,
I have to say, I'm not
I
sure
prefer pasta.
that in 120-degree heat in mid-August, going for lunch, I'd want to have lasagna.
It's true.
I have the carbonara normally.
But then you've got Tutto Italia, which is not somewhere that we've eaten at. It is beautiful inside, very what I would call fake Italian.
It is fake Italian, but it's a really good American take on Italian. And I've got to say, we have eaten there, and the food was excellent, I must admit.
Yeah. And the balconies there are really nice.
Great. I would say the service was good. But
the style you'd expect to see, it doesn't feel like maybe sort of authentic Italian, but expect to see like Joe Pesci and like Al Pacino, that sort of sitting in one of the booths. That's the sort of feel you get from it.
And
I think not bad, but
I must admit,
the menu is a bit American Italian.
The night we went, Lloyd, I think we had an issue because there was a number of managers sort of going around all the tables, and it was a Joe Pesci moment. And I think there was a few people who would be maybe not coming into work the following day.
Oh dear!
It was that type. It was strange because there was a certain dynamic to the service, and the service wasn't great, like I said, but they were trying to do something about it, and it was quite frightening in a way because you knew very well,
like Joe Pesci Casino as opposed to Joe Pesci Home Alone.
It was.
Yeah. Yes.
And
actually, I was going to say that often in the Tutto restaurants, because there's Tutto Italia and then there's Tutto Gusto.
Don't say the other one. Don't do it. It's nice. It's a nice little secret, that one. Don't tell everyone about it, Claire.
You know what, Lloyd? This is the one place, and I hope Nikki's still around. This is the one place that we stop every single time we go to Epcot.
We love it. We absolutely love it.
Cannot walk past without popping in.
Yeah.
And
get a nice little wine flight.
What is it?
Oh, Tutto Gusto. So it's the wine cellar. It's like a lounge, but they do nice sandwiches. You can get
nuggets.
No,
they do sliders in there. They do like a little slider range.
They do some really nice bits of food, amazing wine, beer, cocktails. Not too many. You can get a really good Campari spritz in there, and it's just the most beautiful environment because you can sit there. It's dark and it's not.
You forget where you are, don't you? You forget you're in Disney. We caught out. We sort of like on our honeymoon we were in there. We stayed in there for about an hour. And then, literally, honestly, for a few seconds, I forgot I was in Disney. Completely forgot. Didn't think necessarily I was in Italy, but I forgot.
You can lose hours in there, like really
Easily.
Lose hours in there.
Easily.
We tend to find that by the time you start World Showcase, it's about 11 o'clock when it opens. By the time you get to Italy, it's usually starting to rain. So that's our shelter spot. If we time it really well, it's about 3 o'clock when we get to we get to Italy, and therefore we have to find somewhere to shelter. And Tutto Gusto seems to be our shelter spot. And we
Don't say the name again. Don't say the name again.
We will walk very slowly through the rest of World Showcase so that we get caught there when it's raining, if necessary.
The first time we went to Via Napoli, we went there because it was pouring it down with rain.
But yeah,
no. Hey, you Ben. If it's busy next time I'm in, you're dead.
That's all right. We're there in October, so we can try it out.
Have you never been?
Yeah.
No.
I'd say it's so good. Yeah.
It
was actually beer and Moretti as well, Peter, that they were serving there the day we were in there.
And they do a Moretti Rosso as well. So they do a red beer, which is really unusual.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I mean, you can tend to only get it in Italy. Dan always has it because he can't get it at home very easily. So, yeah, really good. And Millie loves it in there. The restaurant staff are amazing. What I was going to say, John, is that often you'll find the manager loitering around Tutto Gusto, Tutto Italia, and it tends to be. And the times we've been, there's been 2 people in the last 8-10 years. And it's an older bloke in a
old
suit.
Fella.
It looks like mafia. And it's like the mafia boss walks through, and it's like, oh, something's going on.
He's like a Sicilian sort of like Roy Disney type fella.
Totally. Yeah. Always.
It was great though. It just made. I was like, well, this place would be good. Look at that fella. You could tell like a good place by the manager, the level of manager they got.
And he just walks. He sort of glides through, and you're like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
amazing.
I think
Maybe he does it on purpose.
Yeah, if no one's tried it though, from Germany moving forward, there is the opportunity to do like a wine walk. So you start in Germany, you then nip into Italy, and then when you get to France, it's the third stop on this wine walk. So when we do get to a future pavilion and people see the amount of different wine glasses that are stacked up, it's a fantastic opportunity to just do something very Epcot-ish and actually just enjoy the drink. But there's loads within that pavilion, and I've got to say, Sammie, even if for nothing else, go for an ice cream.
I do like an ice cream, a nice vanilla ice cream.
They do a really good ice cream.
Semi-Freddo.
There's a nice place you'll like in France, then, Sammie, when we get there.
Also, with Italy, last year we tried the chicken tenders, which you could get from the Food and Wine.
Oh, they were great, actually.
Yeah,
There you go.
Really nice.
I mean, there's a Food and Wine booth, but
yeah,
sorted.
They're pretty good.
That's
So you
usually
just need
when
to-
I go. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I usually go September.
Yeah.
Time, so great.
They're really good.
Did anybody?
Oh my, we're halfway.
Are we? Are we only halfway?
Tune in next
I'm up for this. Don't you worry, Sammie. We'll be
Did
finished.
anybody do the flag wavers in Italy?
The what?
Yeah.
The flag wavers? Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
brilliant.
yeah.
It's very, very different to what you're going to think. It's a medieval tradition,
Yeah,
and they threw flags for each other, and it was just a great little show.
yeah. They threw them up in the air. They would juggle them. They would, yeah. It was a beautiful show, actually.
I have to say, beautiful as it was, I've never seen anyone like that in Italy.
No, no, that's right.
But then I haven't seen a bloke with a football and a whistle. Well, no, I have, obviously, but not cajoling children.
No.
Yeah. So I'll stop. Move on.
Yeah, you have
This
put
is not going well.
another picture in here, so I didn't know whether you wanted to explain this one.
So this is
pretty.
what I said. These are the bathrooms in Tutto Italia because they're amazing. Look at that marble, and it is marble. It's incredible. So earlier on, someone mentioned me and bathrooms, and
So-
that you know, if
What
you're
you're
going to
saying
use,
is I need a tinko, I should go there.
just nip into Tutto Italia and say, "Can I use the bathrooms?" You have to go
I
through the
still
beautiful
quite like the
room.
ones in Norway.
Tell them.
They
Tell
are
them
good.
I sent you.
Yeah.
And the ones in our next destination are quite nice as well.
Oh yeah.
We're going to do like an Epcot bathroom comparison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's,
Bathroom
That's a
ratings.
Wednesday talk,
Oh,
I think.
dear. Yeah, we could be going there. I tell you, there was somebody in the chat earlier, and I think it slid off my screen. But talking about Italy as a spot for watching illuminations.
It's Terry, I think.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Terry, and it is absolutely incredible, and also to take photographs of illuminations, because what you tended to find is there's the little sort of bay that sort of ekes out into the lake, but also if you actually got on some of the bridges, you're guaranteed of not having anybody in your line of sight.
Yeah.
And it is a cracking place.
That's where we saw illuminations for the last time.
Yeah.
On that little bit that juts out that's in between
Yeah.
Germany and Italy.
Yeah, it is. It is
brilliant view.
superb. And it's again, it's because it's on the opposite side of the lake. You tend to find that it's a quieter part, because people who are wanting that sort of dip back to the car, or they want that quick exit away at the end of the day, they don't want to be the last people out of the park. And actually, if you do it, you find that you basically get security sort of sweeping you out of the park as well, because you go that slow and you just got the opportunity to take some amazing pictures. Or maybe that's just me.
It was nice to see fireworks without having sort of people in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, too right. And actually, because it's sort of, all these people who do the dining packages, or they do the fast passes, and they end up in that bit in sort of the World Showcase beginning, and they're all sort of huddled together. You're still watching the same show, but you're not watching it from the sides like you do if you're across near Norway, or you're just basically watching the opposite. The backside of the fireworks is probably the best description. But that's what it is, and it's a fantastic view, and it's unrestricted, and I like that, because if you've got a camera and you like your photographs, it's an opportunity to do something really special. So,
right,
are we getting let's get Forky out. Forky time.
Yay!
Where are we going next?
Forky is now seeking advice from Sam Eagle, and our good old Sam Eagle, who obviously, if anybody's still watching, and hasn't headed to Disney Plus, because the Muppets are on Disney Plus as of today.
Yay.
The Muppet Show original version. But hey, we're halfway point World Showcase. Let's showcase of countries, but not so huge and imposing as America. The biggest, the finest. You get me drift. The sound of voices fill our ears, and the smell of funnel cake fill our nose. And as Forky salutes, it's Sam Adams, and welcome to America.
I think that sums up America, doesn't it? Or the pavilion, the smell of funnel cake.
I think it probably smells of barbecue now, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
Regal Smokehouse and that.
Yeah,
I think that's a big plus.
Yeah.
On the dining options there as well, because I think we'd always looked previously, and it was basically a Mackie D's sort of attached to the grandeur of it. It was always used. I think
it did it a disservice, really, didn't it? Because actually, there's loads of amazing food across all of the US, and I would love to see a sit-down restaurant there that highlighted the different cuisines from different parts of America. I think that'd be amazing to have different dishes from different areas.
I do too. Yeah.
Yes, well done.
I like that, Mark. That's a great line. Yeah.
So, American Adventure as an attraction. Do we all do it?
Yes.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's better than All the Presidents.
I love it. I think it's another must-do, and I think I know we're talking about must-dos, and I love it. I just think you've got to understand the history of the country and realise from a British perspective of what a young country the United States of America is. And when you sit and you watch their history and how they evolved, and they've not had, and that whole evolution. The one thing I would say, the film needs updating, because you can't have Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong is an insult to humankind and sporting kind. But I put that aside. There's so much within that film that we as British people need to go and watch, so that we can actually understand all of the things that people who watch our show from America truly believe. And I've said it in a few of our shows already. The love of their country and the love of their flag, I would love to see in this country, and we don't have it. And yet, I think we need to actually have that ability to go and watch that film, and to actually add to our understanding of what their true beliefs as a country are. So, there you go.
Hamilton taught me it all. It's fine.
I was about to say there's a Hamilton moment in here somewhere.
Yeah, like Hamilton. Like, I know everything I need to know from Hamilton. It's fine.
Yeah. Dan, keep that to yourself, mate. Yeah.
Voices of Liberty are utterly brilliant, and they are lovely to listen to.
Yes, they're a gem actually, and I think they're now currently performing in the American Garden Pavilion Theatre, I think, aren't they? Yeah. But standing in the dome, and they encourage you to go and sit on the floor in the dome so that you get the beautiful acoustic of that central section while they're singing, and that's amazing. It's just beautiful.
Have you ever sung in the dome there, Claire? Or have you ever heard it?
Yeah, I've tried a little. Yeah. And also in the Temple of Heaven in China, that's also great because it's perfectly circular, so you get that amazing acoustic. It's quite overwhelming if you were to have a little hum. Might have done.
See, they're not actually good as singers in their Voices of Liberty. It's just all the dome. They make me sound good.
Lloyd, I tell you one thing.
They are amazing.
They are.
I'm talking in jest. I know they are.
I know you are. But it is actually there's few times in a holiday where I think when you just take the time, and I think it's that bit where, and this is write it down, Sammie. Right, when you see the next show time is like 3 p.m. and you're at like 2:15, you're frazzled, the sun's baking through the bottom of your trainers in Epcot, and you've done the trying to have a beer, you've done the trying to sort of basically get yourself some space and time, but then you walk in early, and I'm pretty certain we've all done it, and I usually do this for Hall of Presidents. You look at the watch and you think, nah, I won't do this, but once the Voices of Liberty start, you are just entranced, and it is just the most incredible sound, and those people have just got the most beautiful voices.
They're really nice people too.
Yeah,
because after they finish singing, they do hang around, and you can have a chat with them. And I know that Millie had a chat with one of the girls. Yeah, that's so cute. She was so overwhelmed and just so gracious, because Millie was like, "You were amazing." She was like proper fangirling. Yeah. So yeah, it was really cute. But yeah, and we've stayed in touch. So,
yeah, even better. Yeah, do you know something as well though? And I think this is perhaps something that a lot of people miss, is on the walls, on that sort of ground level, on the walls there are again sort of little sort of snippets of American history and quotes from Walt Disney. There's quotes from different presidents, and you need to go and just soak that in before you start walking up the stairs. And you go up sort of the stairs, there's an elevator that goes up one side, and you got all the American flags.
It's huge up there, isn't it?
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
You have no idea how big. Yeah, you go around the corner, you're like, wow, who knew this was here? So yeah.
Also in the American Adventure, they've now got the new jazz exhibition.
They have.
Seoul.
I'm hoping that'll still be there.
Yeah, it's not nice to sort of see the sort of history of sort of soul music in America.
It's that whole sense, isn't it, of just being proud of where they're at as a country, and I think I know it's a bit of a statement where the biggest building in the whole of World Showcase is the American Pavilion, but I just think it is something to absolutely you've got to just embrace it and just go with it. It's brilliant. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. That's the wine. That's the wine. The wine walk from Germany. There we go. And then there's a range of different ales that are readily available. I think one's a Sam.
One's a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can tell by the colour.
Yeah.
And I prefer the summer one rather than the October.
Yeah, I think we've got the whole range there. And do you know something? I really love that photo. I think we've got another one as well, though, Ben. It's the one of Forky just saluted on the top of the bin, and that's the one. I just think that just sums up.
That could have gone so wrong.
That's
You've got to do that, Sammie.
On a trash can, isn't it? So you've got to spork.
Yeah.
And that's a good evidence of where the rubbish bins are themed as well. I know we talked about it a few weeks ago on the Wednesday about the small details like that. Yeah. That's fantastic to have everything themed.
Yeah. It's everything, and then also for your notes, Sammie. So we've gone from tattooing yourself, things like in China. So once you come here, you've got to. I wouldn't expect you to go and sort of drink all of that stuff that you don't drink, but just have the opportunity to just marvel, just the building, the whole voices thing, and then you get this stage out front. Which, depending on what time of the year you go, and if you go at Christmas, you get the candlelight processional, which I think we spoke about at a Christmas show. But it's just breathtaking, and it changes according to the season as to what the entertainment is available. And a little bit of info that maybe nobody, I don't know if anybody knows this. On the left-hand side, just before you come into the American part, there's a little sort of, it looks like a service area, but every now and again, there's a secret sort of cast member training where characters who are not totally available in all the parks just appear. And again, it's not advertised anywhere. A little bit of magic and a little bit of work just to suss out. You need to go there a couple of times and just see when it happens. But it does happen, and we've had some fantastic pictures.
Those new cast members where the DBS check hasn't quite got back yet, so we'll just put about 5 minutes here to test the water.
Yeah, but and again, it's that it's that whole thing of like how they're trying to interact, and they're having somebody watch them interacting with you, and it's a very, very clever bit of Disney magic, and it's their way of training up people to go and be magical elsewhere. I'm not going to say much more than that because actually I don't want to put any spoilers in for every younger viewers and listeners.
Not advertised anywhere apart from here.
Yeah. Maria, you're so right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good one. Are we set? Are we set? Because actually, Sammie, you love the American Pavilion, and I'm sure I could find you some chicken nuggets there if you're desperate.
Right.
I want to move on because actually the next pavilion is possibly just even better. So, right, you've got to walk past the funnel cake place as you leave. So, just as you reach the next country, just sort of take a moment to stop, breathe clearly once more, because you haven't got that sort of that fatty smell of funnel cake. But I'll leave that. But just look at the new surroundings. Japan, home of some of the most incredible sights, sounds, and food in the whole of World Showcase. It is just amazing. It really is. And
Sammie, have you never been to the Japan Pavilion?
Like I said, I've walked past it, but I've never been in.
I should. Have you not heard the Japan Pavilion?
Oh, what, like the drummers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard them.
I thought, shut up! What a noise.
I've walked by. I've been like, oh, they're drumming. That's cool.
Every time we're in the Japan Pavilion, even though we're in Walt Disney World, like the ultimate place everyone wants to go to, in the Japan Pavilion, I'm always regretful I'm not actually in Japan.
Yeah.
Rather than Walt Disney World, it has that effect. And I always go, we're going to Japan next year. We're going to Japan next year. And next year, sure enough, we're back in Epcot in the Japan Pavilion.
It counts.
It's wonderful. It's such a great little snapshot of the country, which has probably been generalized and all sorts. It just makes me want to go to Japan so much.
All of those little garden walk areas are just
the best setting for a quick service, for a counter service. You come out of the counter service there, and you've got a koi pond to eat your beautiful Japanese food in front of it, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's so peaceful up on the top of that little walk up the hill, and there's some really hidden little tables to the side, and you can sit in the shade. It's not too hot. And the food from Katsura Grill is incredible. That is
the best kept secret that we've just broken on the show.
Another one.
But again, I think when we talked about China, we were talking about the sort of counter service that was available there. The Katsura Grill, for me, it's just the best. It's the best value. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the best quality. It is just the most amazing place. And again, talking about hidden detailing, but when you walk in, have a look up, and I know we haven't got a picture of this, but you look up into the actual ceiling. There's again just hidden details. I'm not gonna add spoilers. Yes, you need to go. It is amazing. Yeah. And as Claire said, the view from the top of there. And I was watching someone's vlog. If it's raining, there's an overhang on the ceiling. So if you go and get your food and you're going to eat outside, I think if Jason watches this, I'm sure it's one of Jason's videos. But the overhang ensures that you stay dry.
Maria knows the score.
Will you eat noodles, Sammie?
Do you know what? I do like noodles.
Ramen.
Yeah, as long as there's no veg, then yeah.
rice.
I can say, yeah.
They do a nice noodle bowl there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And they do a
Just
chicken
wondering-
katsu curry, and you can ask for it without the
Yeah.
sauce or the sauce on the side. So that would literally just be like a massive chicken nugget and rice.
Breaded
And
chicken.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Sounds
Just
good.
wondering, at the end of all this, if you can't work out where you want to eat, just go to McDonald's beforehand, bring it in if you can, and just walk around showcase. And it's like you don't need to worry about it. You can go into every pavilion and not worry about the food.
I know. Great.
So should we just have a moment to talk about Mitsukoshi? Because I know that Mark
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
Love that shop.
Anyone else spend like 3 hours in there when they go in?
Yeah. Have you ever been into the little museum before you go in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
The
a great little place.
Currently, there's like a. Oh, Morgan's going to kill me if he ever watches this because I can never say it properly. A kawaii exhibition. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really cool. It's loads of cute anime stuff going on, and Morgan is really into Japanese culture, so that for him, he can spend like an hour in there while we're in the shop. But the shop, oh my goodness, there's just so much to do. So much that we always end up buying a Pokemon plush, usually a pearl.
That's not bad. That's cheap. That's cheaper than the pearl, isn't it? Though.
I know. I always get a pearl.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Morgan,
I bought this.
The pearl and the drummer.
Yeah.
What is that?
You're
We've
in
never
it.
had the pearls. We had the
I've
pearls.
never brought anything from that shop yet.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, being the operative word.
So I have a
Well,
story
we-
about the pearls so I have a selection of pearls all from the Japan pavilion.
Yeah.
When we got married, Dan had them put into a necklace for me.
I had Gil make some earrings from them.
Yeah.
One large pearl and one smaller pearl, and the
You sit like that, Jill.
Yeah. Well,
I thought you meant for you, Peter.
we got to choose two. And to be fair, the lady that did it said, would you like to swap it for another one so that they'll be equal size? And I said no, because that's the one that I chose. That's the one that I saw you take out of that oyster. So
we did it on the honeymoon for the pearls, and it's really cheap as well. I think it was either $10 or $16 or something.
Yeah, I think it's like $14 now.
Yeah, we got they size them as well afterwards, don't they, the pearls, and the one for Emma was the biggest one of the day, which they said is good luck to get the biggest pearl of the day. And it was late on the day. Got it made into a ring, and we've lost it moving house at some point.
You have to go back and get
I've
them.
lost it moving house.
Yeah. Well, we
got
to do it again.
my earrings, we had them done there, and they were, I think, $80.
Yeah.
Including the settings. But
And they do it in about an hour and a half, don't they? It's so quick.
So there
Go
you
and
go.
have a sake while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Have you done that? Have you been to the sake bar?
Yeah,
Right.
it's only quite
Sake
modest,
bar-
isn't it? But it's nice.
Oh, I've never had sake. It's not something that I've
I
ever.
always do, and I did it
Right.
when we've eaten in the restaurants as well in Japan. We always get sake to end the meal.
I'm a bit funny about lukewarm alcohol. It doesn't sound like
That's not, honestly, it's nice. It's
cloudy
really-
warm sake. It's not.
Yes. Sunny, itchy. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
If we do it the other way around, you can count up as well.
It's sneeze and G.
Has anybody been to the new restaurant?
And
to Kumite,
No, I can't afford it.
my house.
We've done Tepanido. Has anyone else
Yeah.
done Tepanido?
Yeah.
Times yet.
That's
We ate there.
COVID time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We
COVID times.
we went for like a nice romantic meal, but it's obviously it's a row of 8 people, but we thought everyone will be doing their own thing, so we can still have our own fun.
Yeah.
And the table next to us was 6 adults, sort of 3 groups of parents, who'd obviously thought there's not enough room to fit our kids on this set, so they put their 5 kids onto another table, which me and Emma ended up on. So we're in effect, we were sitting at the bloody kids table at a wedding almost, to have a romantic meal. While the three sets of parents are having the whale of a time, where we're pretty much babysitting for free. So it was still a lovely experience. Sorry, Claire, what was that?
We didn't offer to pay for your meal for looking after the
Should have
kids.
done. That was lovely anyway, because the whole pomp and circumstance and the showcase of the chef was the main thing. And it was a bit of a pain with that.
I've got to say, Tepanido is actually it's just such an amazing experience, and
I would love to do it because they they do noodles and chicken, so I could totally eat that.
Yeah, good, and it's good fun. You know,
Steak as well.
Yeah,
steak and shrimp. Yeah, I mean, you can get hibachi food all over Orlando. I think we mentioned before there's a Benihana just down by
yeah.
Springs
Yeah.
and stuff. It's probably more expensive than Teppanydo, to be honest with you. And I'm not a massive fan of a hibachi grill. It's not something that I would choose necessarily out of all the options in Epcot. I'd probably choose Katsura grill over it, but I think the experience is really, really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how they manage that with COVID
Mhm.
going forwards. Presumably, you won't be sharing.
No, they've got. I've seen it. They've got dividers. They slide in to the table, so you've got the perspex between you and the next party.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah,
I think
it's
they're
a
limited
split.
to 2 parties per.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
You have a couple of empty
Bit more
seats. in
private
the-
as well.
Because that's
But
the
yeah,
thing. We had a couple we've
Kumite-
never tried Teppanydo just because we didn't want to be sort of with another sort
It's
of,
that.
sort of
Yeah.
family
With
that we
people.
weren't sure of.
The one good thing about having kids on our table, we didn't. I'm not the most social butterfly, so we didn't have to talk to anyone, which was good. You're sitting on a social table. It's but yeah, so we didn't have to talk to them.
To be honest, we were on a table with like 2 other couples, and apart from saying hi, that was it. Really, you weren't expected to make conversation necessarily. It was kind of
It's like a cruise, isn't it? When you're all 80
Yeah.
on a table and you just kind of do your own thing with the.
yeah.
That's really interesting listening to that, because actually, for us, it's become part of going to the actual restaurant. And in 2019, our last visit there, again, when you have that list of dining plan options, and you have different places, and you're thinking, I'm going to try somewhere new, you're going to do something different. And we kept coming back, and we ended up doing Teppanydo. We met the most lovely couple with their kids, and the kids were younger than ours, and we ended up with just the most amazing night. And then we all decided, because we all had ultimate tickets, we're all staying Yacht and Beach Club. We decided, let's go and do extra magic evening hours at Magic Kingdom after we'd finished. And it was one of them little sort of mental ideas that you just have. And we ended up on the same bus, and they were fabulous. It was a lovely, lovely conversation. And equally, I've been there and had an American family share with us, and they were paying out of pocket. And to be honest, they were sort of trying to sort of ensure that they were getting value for money. And I don't blame them, because when you've got kids there and the kids are wanting this and they're wanting different food, you do want it to be the best possible experience for everybody. And it's a fab place. And do you know something else?
Yeah, it's cracking.
The other thing as well is when you come out and you used to be able to stand on the balcony
to watch illuminations.
The illumination. And a little thing for camera lovers is if you put your camera, because the rail there is that wide, that you could put your camera there and you can take the most incredible photographs, because it's just like having a tripod.
Definitely watched illuminations there a few times.
Yeah, that's my favorite place.
When you're vertically challenged like I am, it's good to be higher than the general crowd.
Yeah,
because you can't see anything.
Yeah,
it's an amazing place. I don't know if there was one place in the whole of this tour where you have to go, Sammie. This is the one. It's the one that you actually need probably a couple of hours, and just immerse yourself. Have the drummers rattling your brain because of the noise. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Really is.
Frozen Kirin as well. Frozen Kirin.
Yeah.
Oh,
and a kakigori.
Nice.
Nice kakigori shave ice.
Yeah.
Wasn't a huge fan of it.
Oh, we love it.
It was too big. There's only 2 of us.
Ever.
The thing is, we had to eat it we had to go have it very quickly, because we were in the queue to watch the Guardians thing in the American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it got a bit wasteful when we had it. But maybe we'll try it again.
You weren't a fan of it, so you just
No,
passed
so
it
I
on
just
to
gave
me.
it to you.
Right, come on. Sammie, we're going to get you right round World Showcase tonight.
I'm flagging, guys. I'm flagging. You're going
I need a piggyback now, John.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's all right. We're going to Morocco next. We're all right.
We're not far.
And actually, Sammie, this is where you can point out the rest of your family, right? The backside of Tower of Terror. I keep going on about backsides tonight, don't I?
Yeah.
But the backside of Tower of Terror from Hollywood Studios is actually visible, and you've got, once you know it, you cannot get it out of your head. Yeah. It's used as theming, and if you're in the studios, you've no idea. And that picture is just exactly what you look at, and to me, that is just the most amazing bit of Imagineering, and to what extent you go and take that sort of detail. And I don't know, Morocco, come on, Forky, take us there, man. There you go. Let's go to Morocco, even though they've shut it all down, and Disney are going to take it all in-house.
This is the inside of it, isn't it?
Such a shame.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful inside.
Yeah, we've got some lovely photos.
Yeah, most of the outside and the shops.
We were.
There and further in that way.
It's just tradition, isn't it? When you walk around Morocco to try on a fez.
Oh God, yes.
You just got to do it.
They didn't make the cut. Hey, excellent.
Yeah.
Always go from the bottom, as someone said before. Never set the top hat.
Is he doing just like that?
Look out.
Is he doing just like that?
He is, yeah.
Cool.
And he had no idea who Tommy Cooper was. I just said, just do that.
So the thing to visit when you go to Morocco, Sammie, is to walk into the pavilion and keep walking and keep walking and keep walking, because you go around the back. And the little back streets are incredible. So you go through the bazaar, and there are just these little corners where you can find all sorts of things. Like the Kit Kat stop is right at the back anyway. But it's just fab. It's like a little you say it's like an Aladdin's cave. It really is. Yeah. You don't necessarily know where you're going to come out. It's a bit like a maze in the back, and it's incredible. It's just beautiful. It's good fun to get lost in. And particularly at twilight.
Yeah. And you have to rub the lamps, of course, as you go past.
Yeah.
Lots of people rub the lamps.
The magic lamps. The magic lanterns, yes.
The Morocco restaurant was always fairly easy to get a spot in, because American people don't really understand Moroccan food as a whole. Some do, obviously, but it doesn't attract them. I
think that could be said for anywhere. I think, Peter. I think there's a lot of people in the UK who find Lebanese and Arabic food challenging, because it's not something that everyone's heard of hummus and stuff. But I think
you get kebabs in every town in Britain.
But that
and you get lamb a lot more whereas lamb isn't so popular in America.
Yeah.
Oh right, I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've eaten at the Tangerine Cafe, which is the quick service, and the amount of food you get for your, the shawarma plate, homage to Marvel. The shawarma platter that you get is unbelievably huge. It's massive. If you're on the dining plan, it's a quick service credit, and it's enough for like 3 people. And it's really, really good. Yeah. But I think, as you said, a lot of the Morocco pavilion currently is shut.
It's in a state of flux, because I think what's happened is I think Disney have taken on board, they want to run the operation themselves. And what I would say, and I think exactly what you've just said is about how people are not prepared to take a risk because it's deemed to be Moroccan food. And on our last trip, we actually did Spice Table with a view that we wanted to be able to get that firework view at the right time. But it was possibly the one that, as you put your dining planning together, it was the one that was always that I'm not sure. And you know something? It was actually the meal, I think, for all of us that stands out. And 3 of us went for the lamb. And that was exceptional. But Josh, my oldest son, he went for a steak, and it was the steak. It was cooked to such an extent that even eating in the Yachtsman's steakhouse, the steak in Morocco was better and better flavored, and it was divine. It was truly melting the mouth. And
that's looking at the menu for Spice Road Table, it's really, really good, and it was on. Yeah. It was on my pending list for when we go next, but at the moment, I'm hoping it's all sorted by then. I'd really, really like to go. I love that type of food. I love Lebanese. I love, Lebanon do some cracking red wines as well. In case anyone didn't know. No, really, they're really great. And the Casablanca beer that you get is really good. I think that there's so many individually interesting dishes on Spice Road Table menu that is enough to make me go, actually, I need to go and try that. I need to give it a go. I think to be honest with you, and I think this is possibly going a little bit sort of beyond sort of being a foodie and things like that, but there's a little bit of sort of westernized snobbery involved in this actual pavilion, because actually I think the Americans bypass it, as Peter alluded to. And I think a lot of us, and I'd put my hand up and admit that I've done it a load of times previous, it's just like, nah, not quite prepared to do that. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go to Italy, go and do this. When actually, by taking the risky option and going and exploring what's in this place, is just we could do a show all of its own, and it'd need to be a vlog. Yeah, because the more you go and look at what's available, in not just food wise, but detail wise. I read something on Twitter today, and it really resonated, because I thought, well, we're going to talk about this tonight. But it was talking about the president of Morocco in 1982 sent across some of his own staff. Yeah, to actually go and add the detailing.
Yes, I've heard that. Yes,
into the actual pavilion, and put it into the sort of the mosaic sort of tiling and everything like that. I just thought, you get it, and it shows. There's so much care,
detail, isn't it? That just shows that they've gone that extra mile to make it authentic. Instead of just going, what's the stereotype? What are people looking at when they look at it from that? Because I have to admit, we've looked at sort of Spice Road Table before, and it's like, it's not always been like our choice of food anyway. But maybe next time, if it's there, when in whatever, we'll look at the menu and we'll go, actually, we'll give it a go.
We're trying to be a bit more adventurous, aren't we?
Yeah. Our trip last year was planned that we were going to eat at all new restaurants we'd not tried before.
Well, might do that again.
Yeah. You can get your tattoo there as well, Sammie. You can get your henna tattoo. They do henna tattoos in the shop, in the shopping location on the lagoon side. They do a whole load. So
it's a hard thing to do, but in Arabic countries, it's tradition to have a bit of a mosaic or a rug or something that is not perfect, because only God is perfect.
Yeah.
Or Allah, actually.
Allah's
before we get jumped out.
Yeah, but so somewhere in all the freezers and all that, there's a little imperfect bit, and if you look at them, it is there, but they're very difficult to find.
Yeah. And of course, the other attraction that used to be in Morocco that many dads in particular were very in favour of was Jiggles, the belly dancer.
I thought you were going to say Jasmine and Aladdin then. I thought that's where you were going.
Thank you. You rescued me.
Do you know what, John?
Although in that outfit, it's not much difference.
Yeah.
John,
I can smell Grey Goose slushy from here, so I think we need to move.
I was going to say, Claire.
My nose is telling me there's something around the corner.
I was thinking the same
I've got
myself.
to try one of these. I've never tried one yet.
Okay, so where are we going now?
Can we just have a look in the chat, Ben? Because actually, Mark has said in the chat about the cast members in Morocco being some of the nicest and the most willing to share their culture. and I totally go with that. And Neil as well had put up about Morocco just being a place to grab 5 minutes rest, but actually there's so much natural shade within there because it has been so well themed that when you go in, particularly in August, go into some of the shops in the back, and it's so worth it. So worth it.
Yeah, definitely
really
worth a walk around.
Yeah, it is. And I've got to say, yeah, you're right, Claire. You're right. Forky's thirsty. Forky's thirsty. And I'm just aware of time and the calling of the new Ratatouille ride. Well, yeah, Forky heads straight for the drink. You notice that? Look at that.
Well done, Forky.
I think we need to be a bit more refined, though, don't we? Have a bit more refined start to the French Pavilion, and maybe a song.
I've stolen an ECV by now, John. How refined is that?
I'll tell you what, Lloyd, you'd be first into the film show. Let's get a bad impression to France.
Yeah.
Don't watch the film. The worst impression.
I'm first on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, that film.
Oh, we're watching Beauty and the Beast. Sing along.
Yeah.
That film.
Yeah. It's just
that impression to France. Just it's like bad early 1980s, a low style. And I know some people love it. And I'm going to get told off for saying this. I just can't.
I'm not sure many people do, Claire.
Oh, there are people that love it.
There's a specific person she's thinking of.
No, there's 2 or 3 because who's the other person that loves it? I think, there's some people in the Here with the Magic family who love Impression de France.
Yeah. Is that because they don't have to sing? Is that maybe what it is?
I don't know. I have to say, my view is it reminds me of driving through France as a child in the back of the car, being told to look out the window and enjoy the scenery, and not looking out the window and enjoying the scenery in the slightest. So I think it probably has different. It brings up different memories for me. So it's not It's not something that I absolutely. Yes, I know, and I'm probably never going to hear the end of it. I can't.
It's a way I'd rather do. He's well aware of your opinion.
He is. Yeah, and I've said this to him, so it's not something that I haven't already said.
I'm undecided on Impressions de France because we've not yet done it. Yeah. So
I think there are other things in the France Pavilion which are more interesting.
Oh, yes.
For us, it's this.
Yeah,
but that was our breakfast.
What's on the right?
What the one closest to the bottom?
Not the croissant, the other one.
That one. It's a what do they call it?
It's a roulade.
Roulade.
Right.
Bacon and cheese.
Or the chocolate.
Cheese and ham and.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I fancy one of the macaron ice cream sandwiches.
Yes, or the brioche ice cream boule thing is really good as well.
I think the blue lingerie at the back of there is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Oh, it really is.
For breakfast in particular, it's the most beautiful place. Even if you just want a baguette and some butter.
Yeah.
You know, Sammie, I was thinking of you there. Just like baguette and butter is right up your street, isn't it?
Do you eat bread, Sammie?
I do. And it's actually really cheap as well. Baguette and butter is only something like $3. So
cheap by Disney standards.
As someone who does this sort of thing for a living, and I'm a qualified pastry chef, the quality is actually quite good. It's not quite as good as you would get in a proper Parisian place, but it is very, very nearly, and it tastes so good as well. The quality is really nice.
Yeah. It always looks good. We've never had any food from there.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
That's
On our
great.
list.
Anyone ever done Chef de France?
No.
We looked at it a couple of times and then
never
cancelled
it.
That's what we've done.
Do you know, we did.
I don't really know why either.
Yeah, we did exactly that a number of times, and then you sort of thinking, it's
just French onion soup and.
Yeah, but actually we went. Do you know something? It was fabulous.
Was it?
Absolutely fabulous. And then we ended up. Yeah, that was the first time we went, and obviously. Yeah, I think it must have been when you could actually get them on the dining. First time you got them on the dining plan as well, which helped. But But the second time we went, and it was so good, we went back again, and I'm thinking it's not going to be the same because it gets hit and miss reviews. We've got the most beautiful seat. We got the seat that overlooks that walk up towards the back of the pavilion. So you've got the zoo
next to the fountain.
Yeah, but you're
nice.
also on view to everyone who walks past you. But it was absolutely spot on. It really was, and I don't know. I can't speak highly enough of it, and I'm not going to say I'm going to go. Was it Monsieur Paul and spend a fortune in there? But actually, the fixed price menu in Chef de France is possibly that sort of borderline of you don't mind paying out of pocket.
Sammie, I think I know something that's up your street.
Oh yeah,
Ice cream.
I think it's really good ice cream.
Is it like I like a creamy ice cream?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. Creamy.
And now you have the option of a crepe.
Oh, and
Yes.
I get ice cream in the crepe.
Yeah.
Possibly, you probably have to buy them separately, but
I don't know. You might.
You might be able to get,
You might.
One of us
shop
have-
is a slightly separate shop to the ice cream
Yeah, it's
shop.
around the corner by the entrance
Probably
to.
get ice cream with the crepe. So yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, but it won't be as nice as ice cream.
Oh,
You don't know. You don't know.
I don't know.
So
But I know
we'll
the
find out.
We're running toward the joke of somewhere for a quick crepe in Epcot.
Yeah.
So there's toilet
Always.
opposite.
Yeah, but a cold one at that though, Ben. Goodness.
You just think you have a crepe and creep out again. That's all.
Quick crap. The other one as well. Has anyone actually been into the shops within the French Pavilion?
Yeah.
Because there's actually an opportunity to snaffle a little bit of a free taster of champagne, and then also that ability when the rain starts, and we found ourselves there, is the fact that it's champagne time. Never mind the Grey Goose slushy and all that. let's have the shampoos and let's start that whole thing about, because the French Pavilion actually is amazing for alcohol.
That's true. But I go into that wine glass shop and I'm afraid to touch anything. I'm terrified
Hands in
that
your
I'm going to
pockets and
break
don't touch anything.
because they're not cheap glasses,
No.
No,
We had some fun stuff.
and I'm terrified that there's going to be a horrible cascade and the whole wall's going to go.
yeah.
I think
I've
the
got-
other thing in the France Pavilion is you can get a meet and greet with Belle in her
Blue dress.
her village dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you don't often get her in her blue dress. She's always in her gold shenanigans. So that's quite nice. And they do and Aurora's often in the gardens in France as well. So yeah,
What's
you
that
do
you got,
you do
John?
get some.
Sorry, I've just sent my eldest son for a little prop of
Oh,
One of
This
those
is-
nice expensive
yeah,
wine
this
glasses.
is the world. Yeah, this is the World Showcase
Oh wow!
wine glass.
Oh, lovely.
You know when you think I'm never going to get that home,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because we felt that something, it was going to be our last trip that we could think of, and actually we thought we're going to take the wine glasses home, and they don't get used very much because everyone's frightened of using them.
They're for decoration only.
Oh, it's but it's so nice because actually, if you fill them up right to there's a reflection of World Showcase.
Yeah.
Right up to that proper wine size glass as well. But
That beats ours.
Yeah.
We got the Epcot.
but that's what you want, Peter, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so nice at home, and I think this is in winter time and in these times to actually have this ability to sort of pick a glass up and actually sort of get that buzz. And I hope people at home have had this tonight. We're talking about a place. I think we all
I don't
feel
think there's anyone still with us, to be honest with you. I think they've gone.
Right.
Nobody does not watch it.
That's fine
No,
because
it's fine, but
it doesn't matter because we're going to the UK next and we can disgrace ourselves in our home country.
home sweet home.
Yeah, because I think that's the nice walk, and that's the nice bit next, Sammie, is you go across a little bridge and they call it the Channel.
Yep, going over the channel.
A fabulous place to take pictures from of Illumination. And I'm going to disappoint you because actually there's only fish and chips there in the UK, Sammie. There's not chicken nuggets.
I've had chips and gravy from somewhere.
That'll be the UK pavilion then.
Yeah, I've had chips and gravy from somewhere in the UK pavilion.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't the poutine in Canada?
I mean, very possibly.
Was there cheese with it?
No, because I asked for it. If it came with cheese, I would have asked for it without cheese.
So it might have been the poutine then.
Cheese.
But in the UK pavilion, I mean, I know it's actually quite a big pavilion, isn't it? When you go around the back, it's much bigger than that little street where you approach, and all the buildings are slightly different. You got the rose garden bit where you can meet Alice.
Gardens are gorgeous.
Oh, thanks, Joe, for staying so long.
Hi, Valerie.
Do you know something? I think we've got ourselves. So many people are in the chat, and it's so nice to know. You're still with us. We're 2 hours later. We're still doing this, and actually, Joe, you want to come across and have some of the chip shops across here?
Yeah,
I'll buy you fish and chips, proper Yorkshire fish and chips across. You're over here.
Does everyone else go into the
down
pub?
by the coast?
Yeah, the fish are amazing. But
does everyone else go in the Rose and Crown?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Not
You
for
avoid
years
it?
and years now.
I've never been.
It's always crammed. I mean, it feels like a proper pub experience because you can't move, you can't get near the bar, and you have to elbow people to get through the.
So
It's
it
not
just
fun.
feels quite
It's
authentic
not
this home here, or because I'll skip that experience.
I'll tell you one thing. It's been an amazing place, and I've met so many people in there, and arranged to meet people that have got in touch before we got on trips. And it's a really good place. Just no matter what time of the day it is, meet in the Rose and Crown at such and such o'clock, and then you go from there. It's And actually, if Neil's still watching, I would sort of a big shout out to those guys because they shared my significant birthday, which wasn't my 21st, only a couple of years ago, and we actually ate in the restaurant for the first time. And again, it's another place that you think, oh, I'm not going to do that because I'm actually not that bothered about eating UK food. But I tell you, the cast members were superb and the food was excellent. The food was absolutely incredible, which really surprised me.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, I haven't tried the fish, Mark, but the chips are definitely not the same.
Not tried either, actually.
They're not bad. If you want something different to a French fry, they're all right. They're
chunky chips, so they're a proper chip.
But I think there's the tea caddy shop, I think it is, which sells some overpriced chocolate and Twining's tea.
I'm gonna get strung up.
How small is Josh there?
Oh no!
That's so cute.
Little Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, but I'll need to tell everyone the story now, don't I?
Yeah.
Because of one of our favorite podcasting inspirations of all time had a wonderful April Fool, and they said that the tea shop had actually turned into a Tesco Express.
Yeah.
Right now, do you know something? It was brilliant because you could actually understand that would be very probable, but we kept it going as a family and going, and then when we turned up in Epcot, he's about to smack me. He's just sort of over his shoulders. And he turned around and said, "Where's the Tesco Express?" And at that point, an April Fool in August is absolutely hilarious. And I've got to say, he did take it with good spirits. He doesn't so much now. So if I disappear from the stream in a moment,
we'll know what happened,
or decided that he's going to do away with me. But
do your worst, Josh.
One of those moments where you understand that all of these words that we share are just sort of priceless. And the days that we go in and we share days in parks, you remember them forever. You know, and that's the thing, Sammie. It's not about you. It's not about all of us tonight. This is a park that has got so many memories for everybody. It's amazing, and I've got to say, I didn't realize that photo was in there.
Has anyone bought a Mars bar for £5 in there or $5?
No.
We've all got common sense.
Oh my goodness! I mean, I suppose if I'd never had a Mars bar, I might be tempted.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I think the tea bags that they sell are a bit rubbish. I take my own tea with me.
Yeah, I think as well. I think when you sort of walk through the shop part of it as well, and I think this is possibly where we look at China and we look at Japan, and we marvel at the absolutely incredible things that are on here. And then we get sort of Beatles T-shirts and Rolling Stones T-shirts and
Doctor Who T-shirts,
post boxes
and phone boxes, and see how many people you can cram in the phone box. That game never gets old.
So one part of the shops does some really cute Winnie the Pooh T-shirts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You used to be able to get Doctor Who stuff and things like that in the shop at the back.
Yeah. I've got a Doctor Who dress that I bought from the UK Pavilion shop.
Cool.
Hang on.
There's one.
2 hours in, and you actually now admitted you've been into a shop in the UK Pavilion?
It's because it's in the UK.
Yes, I just remembered.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job we didn't turn right when we started, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, we'd have been finished by now. It'd have been great. We'd have been sat watching Wonder Division.
Oh, I'll be watching the Muppets, I tell you. Oh. Do you know something? I think the UK Pavilion is possibly the most underrated. And Neil's line there, thank you very much. And that was another one, the Lagoon. That was the year after the Tesco Express gag. The Lagoon freezing for ice skating. Karen, there we go. You've been outed. Mr. Bean T-shirt. Good grief, Maria. Good call, Joe. Good call there. I think that's, I think that's exactly it. It's the missing part, isn't it?
I think it didn't help that they hadn't decided what they were going to do with it.
No.
I think there was a lot of discussion when they announced it, what sort of ride format, and it was due to the pandemic. They need to save some money somewhere, something that hasn't been much
even decided on. That's going to be the first to go.
Yeah.
At least
but a good idea never dies.
That's the thing. One day it will be back.
Hopefully. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I once spent a good 5 minutes explaining what HP sauce is to an American.
I mean, I don't even know what that is.
I thought you literally going to say you've only spent 5 minutes in
No. She asked me what HP sauce was, and
you can't describe it though. There isn't.
No, it. That's why it took 5 minutes because it's so difficult.
Yeah,
spicy, fruity, brown, peppery sauce.
Yeah, but what can they? Yeah,
goes on everything.
Especially good on a bacon sandwich.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's not even go.
Oh, that's not even go bacon sandwich.
I'm getting hungry now.
I'm getting hungry now. Come on.
Danny Baker's after us. Brown or red sauce. That's Saturday morning.
It is. Sammie's going to be ordering a McDonald's to come by Deliveroo in a minute if we keep talking food. So.
I'll tell you one thing though. We might need to get Forky out of the Rose and Crown and away from the pub singer in there on the piano. I think he quite fancies that. So, do you know something?
Nearly there.
We're going to
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan's with us.
We're in the UK and Dan's appeared.
That's where he's been hiding.
Yeah. You need
one Rose and Crown for the last 2 hours while we've been walking around the rest of World Showcase.
So I'll tell you what, this is a fact, we've actually made it before Saturdays even started, so that's even better. But there's so much more to the final pavilion that actually meets the eye, as the gardens actually in front of what you actually see are actually modelled on the Butchart Garden in Vancouver Island, Canada. which is one of the most incredible sights I've ever had the actual personal joy of actually seeing in real life. But it's here in miniature in Epcot, and it does it justice. And let's go to Canada. Forky, we've nearly done it.
Yay!
Last stop. I love the Canada Pavilion.
Yeah,
I think it's really underrated.
Yeah.
And I know that you lot don't like Martin Short and didn't find him funny.
I love Martin Short. I love him.
I thought he was.
No, did you just find that's me?
I've never done a Canada.
No.
You'll notice we haven't done many of the shows at Epcot.
Oh,
We tend to
used to
catch
think
things
it was-
at the acrobats in China and those sorts of things.
And the song that used to be in the O Canada show, I think it. I don't know if it was before the Martin Short version or it was before they remastered it, and the bilingual O Canada song.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. I could sing it. I won't. But it's one of those ones that comes on a variety of different Disney things.
Easiest way to go all the way around again is once we've finished, press play.
But get a drink first. I think the shop in Canada, I like the merch location up the top of the steps.
Yeah.
You can get some really great things like the beaver butt lip balm. That's good. Maple syrup flavored everything.
Yeah.
Why not?
And some really cool t-shirts and like lumberjack shirts and things like that. It's some really interesting.
We got a great little
different stuff.
plushie. We got a wolf plushie for Peter's sister because she was a big fan of Due South. If anybody remembers Due South,
Yeah.
Why didn't you get a moose then?
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, you can get a moose. And you can get a mouse.
I remember a moose was Due South, wasn't it? Walking on at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's
Show my age now.
I think you're thinking of Northern Exposure.
I am.
Yes.
Due South was a Mountie. He was the Mountie, wasn't
It was
he?
the mousey.
Right, I remember that as well. Yeah. And he had a wolf thing. Yeah, right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jill. Forget I even spoke. And Northern Exposure was Alaska, wasn't it? Anyway.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
What I like about the Canadian Pavilion is that it's one with the most contrasts. You've got the garden, then you've got the colonial houses, then at the back you've got the rugged rocks and the waterfall.
Yeah.
It really is very different.
You got from here
Yeah.
to here.
And I think as Canadians that point out, that's Canada.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
diverse, isn't it, in terms of landscape and atmosphere. And I think it looks quite compact. It's not. It's huge. And you're quite right, Mark. It has poutine, and you can get it at the refreshment port, and it's amazing. So definitely, Canada is a win. Oh, and Joe's mentioned Le Cellier. Boys, we've got a date at Le Cellier at some point, haven't we? I remember that.
And Becca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you for the chocolate mousse.
Right.
Smuggle me out a chocolate mousse.
I'll probably eat it by the time it's gone home, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's chocolate.
I think
But Le Cellier is such a great little restaurant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I think we've actually missed quite a few along the way. And I think Le Cellier for British people has been one of those sort of really stock places that we've really sort of dug into and actually enjoyed. And I think the film with Martin Short or not is another one. And again, all those 360-degree films within the whole of World Showcase are just
They're
so
incredible, aren't they?
so worth seeing. It does take time out your day, Sammie. So I'm very sorry it's not going to be a little dip in and dip out. But
And it's not high thrill either, but it is.
No, but the films just give you so much information, and it's just like,
Yeah.
it really is inspiring. It's like an advert, isn't it? For come to this country.
Canadian Tourist Board.
Yeah.
I think they've improved it now as well with the most recent version of the film with Eugene Levy and Kevin McAllister's mum. Can never remember her name. Catherine O'Hara. Is that right?
That sounds close to it.
Sounds right.
Kevin McAllister's mum and Jim from American Pie's dad.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's the better description.
Do it. And it's wonderful. I've only seen it on YouTube, obviously, because of the pandemic and everything. But it's a lovely little tour around Canada now. I think it's done far better and far more, Canada tourist board than it's been done before. It really sells the country to you, and not as sort of tongue in cheek or sort of comedic as I would have imagined. It is quite sincere, for want of a better word.
I wonder, Lloyd. That's maybe because I've always been very derogatory of Martin Short in the past, but
he loves you, John.
I know he does. Yeah,
he only has good things to say about you.
I love him too.
He's a big fan of the show with Will Smith.
But I think you've just hit the nail on the head as to why I never quite got on with it, because having been to Canada and spent we spent 4 or 5 weeks traveling around British Columbia, and we fell in love with the place. And this is, we're talking before the kids had even been to Disney, and it was just the most incredible place that you would actually even think of. We slept under the stars with a view that bears had been there, sort of in somewhere in the past, because you'd actually see the bear poop and this, that, and the other. It's just an amazing place, and to go and see it in Epcot. It's a little bit safer. It's a little bit safer than going in there doing it in real life.
The only bear you get is Pooh Bear.
Oh, not Pooh Bear.
Dancing around chasing butterflies.
Yes.
I'm just looking at Mark's comment about Canada. Oh, Canada would be better with seats. But how does seats work with circle vision? Could you be like?
You could have seats that spin like office.
Oh, that would be good. Actually, that's probably what he meant. That would be a really good idea.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? You could just spin around.
Those little stools that spin round that you usually get at a bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you need. Someone hasn't thought this through.
Oh, that's great.
Let's plus it up.
Yeah, let's ups on a good day.
Plus it up.
Definitely. Imagine if you took your own. It'd be great.
Oh. Sammie?
Yes.
I think that's it.
Good.
That's well showcase. That's well showcase in nearly 2.5 hours. And if you do it properly in real life, it's going to take you at least 2.5 days. So all we need now is your notes and experience of your next proper trip. If you manage to fit in half of what everyone in the chat has included tonight, and actually everything that your fellow Wafflers have shared tonight, I think it's a fortnight holiday all of its own. For everyone who's enjoyed the chat, enjoyed everything that you've heard tonight, smash the like button too. Your input has given Sammie and us some ideas for the next trip.
And anyone still here?
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Longest show so far.
Ever.
Not the internet. And if you have enjoyed watching, we have a weekly live show, which is in the shorter form of exactly 1 hour every Wednesday. And as we plugged earlier, we're talking about extinct Epcot attractions on Wednesday next week. So come and be part of the show, because if you're in the chat, we do try to pick up on things that you're telling us a whole lot more than we actually can during a live show, when we're just taking Sammie on a trip of a lifetime. So it's 8 p.m. every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube in the UK, 3 p.m. Eastern in the US. Our monthly podcast is out on the first of every month, as always. And if you missed our middle of the month show, and you missed him in the chat earlier, Disney Dan was there. It came out last Monday, and Disney Dan was just such a fantastic guest. And please do go and have a listen to that. And actually, I think Dan's out drinking for the rest of the night with Neil. They're keeping
I'll
going.
see you there. I'm on my way.
I think we need an after show drinking around the world. I think
Like a proper lock-in.
Ben,
Lloyd, you in?
Yeah,
I'm on sort of second reserve call tonight, so I can't.
I'm going to my bed.
Dreaming.
That comes no surprise, Sammie. Anyway, Ben, can you share all the socials and places that people can watch, listen, download, or simply actually just find us online?
Of course I can, John. So you can find us on social media at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also, the There we go. So you can find all the podcasts on your favourite podcast platforms. So we've got Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and also if you want to watch us as we record our podcast, you can find us on our YouTube channel, which is the Great British Mickey Waffle. There we go.
That was good.
What a pro.
I should just record that.
Sounds like he's done it before.
I should just record that and then just play it next time.
I think as well, and I think for people who are watching this, a big thank you to Ben for sort of inserting. We had the most incredible amount of photographs to share with everyone tonight, and it has been a nightmare. I think I started off with over 1,000, and you sort of keep going and sort of get rid of loads. And I think even today we've got rid of a whole lot more. But thanks, Ben, to actually be able to slot them into the show and actually in the right places too, which is such a difficult thing to do because we never know where the chat's going. So massive thank you. It's a thankless task and appreciated by all of the wafflers on here. As I said, we're back on Wednesday to talk extinct attractions around the whole of Epcot. I might even have a special T-shirt for that one as well. So I'll keep you posted. We're back live third Friday of next month, which actually is the 19th of March. So I put it in the diary. So it's the 19th of February, 19th of March. We're back again for another waffle that hopefully isn't 2.5 hours long. Can't promise that yet. But until we meet again, thanks for watching, for joining in, for following us on our Trail Around World Showcase, to just show Sammie just what she's missed. And you've missed so much, Sammie. And I hope, go on.
Too much, some would say.
No, you've got this all ahead of you, and that's the nice thing.
I think we've all learned something tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me too. Me too. It's great. But for everyone, stay safe, take care of those you love. And for all of us here, to all of you there, a huge thank you. And as always,
Waffle.